big problem I have is that I just don't have any idea about Genes to the Cults or any interest for that matter either.
I don't know what he's chatting about because it's on here. It's 5 and 10.
Yeah.
Stop doing drugs.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. Not sure. Yeah. Anyway, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this fine. It's not fine. It's disgusting, isn't it, outside?
It's lovely.
It's you love this weather, don't you?
I fucking love it.
You're a grim weather person.
Well, I grew up on Exmoor, so the weather is like cold, wet.
Yeah,
sometimes snow.
Luce is a grim weather person as well.
All of my driving lessons were in the rain, in the dark.
Were they?
Yeah.
Mine was a real mix. My driving lessons, to be fair, including some like frosty stuff as well. But you know, I don't know. This is whether I'm like I want to just wear joggers and just be inside and have a hood up the whole time and be meh. And then when it's sunshine, I'm like fucking t-shirts, shorts, get me in that sun.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like.
Do you know what I did in the rain when I drove home?
Shout off poo.
No. We actually finished on a decent time.
We did, yeah.
Right. I picked up Tamsin some nuggies.
Of course. Because we finished at a decent time.
I'll get her some nuggies.
Yeah, of course.
When I was driving back, I nearly ran over a dog.
Did you?
In the dark. He was running around on the Chalk Valley Road.
Okay.
So pulled over, got it, and then when I was like knocking on I'd knocked on like 5 houses, and then another dog turned up. Joe
the dog whisperer. Were you playing a little pipe at the time, skipping down the road?
It was a lurcher and a spaniel. So I put them both in my car.
Yeah.
And I drove around like 10 more farms because obviously everything's really spread out there until I found them. But it was like 10 past midnight, so everyone was asleep.
Yeah.
So just loads of like the really grouchy people when I'm literally like banging on windows and doors, waking up an entire neighbourhood.
Is this your dog?
Yeah. Are these your dogs? And they're like, no, because they're normally quite angry when you wake people up, because people are like, ooh, stranger in the dark.
I think if someone knocked on my door at half midnight with a lovely dog and was like, is this yours? I think I know I'm a dog, as a dog owner, I think it's not. And I wouldn't be that pissed off because I'm like...
Yeah, most people were like, oh, no, I don't know whose it is, or I hope you find them.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me too much.
Because there was a part of me which was like, 2-3 dogs.
Nick says, I hope you get approached by 2 dogs that befriend you.
Yeah. And they were nice. I nearly fed them Tamsin's nuggets in the car. I told her, and she was like, it's for a good cause.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she was fine. But I did find the owners.
Yeah. You did? Look at Joe
Saw a lot of grown-ups in their pants that night.
If Joe doing dog-based community service isn't worth gifted memberships, chat, I don't know what is.
Because I was like, if it was my dog that somehow escaped, I would want people to work very, very hard to make sure I got it back.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. What a lovely thing to do, mate.
But most people just steal them.
Why didn't you tell me about that yesterday?
I don't know. I was quite tired yesterday.
Yeah,
I was painting and building.
It's such a good deed, though. That was really nice.
Built a Chaos Knight yesterday.
Yeah.
Built and paid a librarian. Lovely. Yeah.
Well, look at you go.
But then I treated myself to staying up at 2 o'clock this morning playing Night Rain.
Who?
Night Rain. Oh, Elden Ring.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm really into it.
I've gathered.
Josh got me in.
You've talked about it a lot, Joe.
And I've watched. So I still watch my Wednesday Mikey stream.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
Mostly
because he's got an obsession right now that we're on board with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's part of the block zone.
He's
he's part of Roblox. But then I just watch loads and loads of Elden Ring videos all the time.
Yeah.
But the problem is, as I've discovered, so you can be as informed as you can be. It doesn't make you any better at pressing the buttons.
No, quite. No. I know all the theory about how to be good at Call of Duty, but I can't do it.
So I'm like, I'm if anything, I'm holding Josh back. I think.
Okay.
There's 9 bosses to fight, and we've only beaten 1, and we played for 15 hours.
I've heard he likes it when you hold his hair back. So.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, yesterday, as well as Joe watching Mikey's video, which is another revelation that we should all talk about each week, the fact that this keeps happening somehow, and him being obsessed with Elden Ring and saving the world's dog population. What if you'd have knocked on the door and it would have been answered by some Koreans and they said, yes, it was their dog? Would you have worried?
So what I made sure I said when the person was like, they were like, the guy was like, oh, I don't know, and he called them. I said to him, what breed I asked him what breed they were. First.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because if he was like a cockapoo, I'd be like, no.
What breed were they?
It was a lurcher and a spaniel.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think you did say actually.
The spaniel was just running around having the time of his life. He's the one I nearly hit.
Right.
And the lurcher was very, very scared, but very, very cuddly. I basically just carried it everywhere like a baby. I loved it.
Cool. Okay. Well, here you go. So not only did all that stuff happen over the course of the last sort of 40 hours since we were last here in the studio, but as I'm sure you're all aware, Games Workshop yesterday dumped a bunch of updates, FAQs, and as promised for each Balanced Data Lake now, 3 brand new detachments. Now, a lot of you asked about these detachments yesterday, and I did say to you on the stream last night I wasn't going to talk about them until today. And the reason why I was going to hold off till talking about them today is, 1, it gives us content for the Liam and Joe show, but 2, that all 3 of them are now factions that Joe plays. 2 are factions he's played for a while. 1 he's picked up in the last few months because he's sort of fallen out alive with his Blood Angels stroke Flesh Tearers. So I thought we would talk about these on today's stream. We're going to put them up on the screen in just a moment. If you've got comments, questions, queries about anything to do with these attachments, how they work, etc., please feel free to stick them on big, colourful postcards for us. And after we've gone through the 3 detachments, of which there is obviously a detachment rule, some enhancements and 6 stratagems, we'll then jump into the comment section. We'll say thank you for all the gifted memberships. I know 3 of you have donated so far. Thank you, you legends. And we'll say thank you to the super chats and we'll answer any questions. You're amazing. That's it. I'm unsubscribing. Ash, please. Please. No one else, just Ash, please.
I don't know. I like Ash. He's all right.
I like Ash as a person. Yeah.
He makes me feel better about my life.
He is quite attention seeker in the chat though.
He's young, isn't he?
Yeah, I have to keep blocking his alt accounts.
Young, dumb, and full of
because they're just not funny. He's one of these young people who's like,
done.
Here's a funny thing, and everyone laughs because it's really funny. And then he's like, oh, everyone laughed. And this is my eldest does this as well. This is why I know they're closer in age than me and Ash are, because my eldest also does this. Here's this really funny thing I did once. I'm going to do it again and again and again and again and again and again. And after 3 weeks, you're like, fuck me.
Yeah, but that's how computer games are made, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
I did something good once. I'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it's still funny.
And it gets progressively worse, but they keep doing it.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, there might be someone that hasn't heard it. He's going for market saturation on LOLs.
Yeah. Right, so I'm going to do these in a specific order, which will make sense.
Is it
to
the
Joe.
reverse order?
It's the reverse order to what you read them in, mate.
Yeah.
So somewhere here I have a screen, should be that one, which will bring this up, as you can see over there, for you wonderful people in chat. I've made sure all the words are on the screen. I have a mouse next to me as well, so we can scroll through this. We'll start off with the Cabal of Chaos. So Chaos Space Marines have an OK codex. They have some OK detachments. Actually, I think most recently the strongest one for them has probably been their Grotmas detachment.
Yeah, the Fabulous Build detachment.
Yeah.
So this is competing against that.
Yeah, that's I would suggest that's probably their best detachment at the moment.
Yeah, so like I think, so the Cabal of Chaos is what the Raiders detachment should have been, which is the one where you get +1 AP on objectives. But the thing is, though, people are just clever and just don't put their stuff on that you want to die on objectives. So this basically fixes that problem.
Because their detachment rule is the Empiric Wellspring. Each time a unit from your army makes a Dark Pact, select one of the following abilities. Your unit has that ability until the end of the phase. Leaping Warp Flame. While this unit is within 9 inches of one or more friendly Heretic Astartes Psyker models, improve the strength characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in this unit by 1. Or Monstrous Manifestations. While this unit is within 9 inches of one or more friendly Heretic Astartes Demon Prince or a Heretic Astartes Demon Prince with wings models, improve the armor penetration characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit by 1. This is also in addition to your usual dark packs. You'll still get your sustained or lethals. But basically, if you're near a Psyker, you get +1 strength on your ranged weapons. If you're near a Demon Prince of any sort, you can get +1 AP on your melee weapons.
Yeah, I think this is really good. I misread it the first time and it was just +1 AP for both. I think it'd probably be better if it was +1 AP for both. But +1 strength is also really, really good because it means that things like Terminators, much better.
Yeah.
Their bolt guns go to strength 5, which is a bit more useful.
Still AP 0 though.
Still AP 0, which is a problem. I do wish it was AP 1.
Does it make a difference for things like Noise Marines? Because I know we were talking earlier.
We were talking earlier, and I misread it. I thought it was AP 1, so I thought Noise Marines means they go to strength. Well, they're strength 5, and then they go to AP 2 damage 2.
But they don't.
Whereas now they go to strength 6,
AP 1.
damage 2.
The strength 6 is
they're
nice.
still ignoring cover. Strength 6 is really, really good because obviously most Space Marines cap out at toughness 5.
Yeah, if you like
apart
Terminators and stuff, yeah.
And then it means the big gun goes to strength 11, which is good. It also means that the Warp Flamers for Thousand Suns go to strength 5.
That's really nice,
Which is
actually.
really, really good because they reroll wound rolls and reroll all wounds.
Yeah, that's decent. We like that.
I think it's really, really good. I was saying earlier that I think Venom Crawlers are going to be good because they go up to strength 7.
Yeah.
It's all right. Predators get a higher strength, which means that they're better at fight. Like the autocannon one's more efficient versus vehicles and heavy infantry.
Yeah, so not bad rules. And you get it by doing dark packs, which you want to be doing anyway, and being in range of models that you would normally have. I don't know if you
So
would.
you probably... I never took the Demon Prince on foot because he was garbage. And then...
But now he's gained Lone Op.
But now he's getting Lone Op, he's much better.
Yeah.
I always took the Flying Demon Prince. The Flying Demon Prince now is just the Emperor's Children Flying Demon Prince.
You have to dark pack. Noise Marines can't do that, right? They can, yes. They can dark pack. Can't they? Right?
No, Noise Marines can't dark pact, so...
They can't dark
They
pack.
can't dark pact, which is a bit poo.
I thought they could dark pack.
No, because they don't gain dark pacts.
They just gain Heretic Astartes.
Yeah, which means that they'll benefit from all the stratagems in this detachment.
Okay.
But yeah, that's a bit annoying, but that's fine. Because you can still take... If you've got to think, like, Obliterators still get better on both sides, because then they go to AP3 in combat, and all their guns just get stronger.
Why can't Noise Marines dark pack? Because they don't have the dark pact ability in their data on the data sheet.
Because I think they should gain it, I think. Because they're part of, like, that.
Yeah, I would be okay with them getting dark pack.
And then what else gets played? What else is it? Vindicator. Just gets better.
Yeah.
Strength 6 heavy bolters on Noise Marines. On Devastators.
Not Devastators.
Havocs.
Fuck it, we got there in the end.
Yeah. Lance cannons. The auto cannon's still really good. Someone's phoning me.
Is it? Is it the dog
I
owners
bet
again?
Someone in Guiseley?
Don't know what that is.
Never heard of it.
Okay.
So the range that's really, really good. But the combat's where it is.
Yes.
The combat
AP2 damage to possessed, finally.
Yeah. Basically gives them the stuff they need. It also means that the Master of Possession is now actually useful, especially in this detachment.
Even the Demon Princes themselves, they are within 9 inches of a friendly Demon Prince because they're within 9 inches of themselves. They get AP3 themselves as well as the sustained or lethals.
Abaddon goes to AP5. Terminators go to AP3. AP3 damage 2. I think it's much better. Like I said, Obliterators just get better. The Venom Crawler actually becomes quite efficient in combat then. If you've owned them, Defilers, their combat gets much, much better.
Even the thing is, I know it's 1 damage, I get it, but even things like Raptors and Warp Talons.
Raptors and Warp Talons get a massive glow up.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They go from like a unit that you might take to actually probably worth their points now.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, because all my Raptors have got bolt pistol chainsword, which makes them really efficient. I need to get some made, which will probably come about because of our Crusade idea.
Yeah.
Because they can take 2 melter guns in the unit.
Yeah, which is a definite must, really, isn't it, nowadays?
Then, those melter guns go to strength 10 in this detachment. And then in combat, the guys with the chainswords go to AP2, and the guys with metal guns go to AP1.
Do you think... I'm just having a quick read. Can cultists dark pack? They can, can't they?
Yes.
So cultists gain AP as well, melee. It's actually quite interesting.
Yeah. I think it's like I don't personally I don't like cultists, but I have started taking units of 10 just to hold.
But if it just improves what they're not very good at and it makes it a little bit better, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
You
So
know?
like if like, this army is actually not terrible for the all cultist army with all the wibbly gribbly cultists.
Do you know who will now also go to AP4? A Lord Discordant.
The Lord Discordant is fucking banging in this.
He goes like strength 8 -4 free damage now.
Yeah.
Which is really fucking good.
Yeah, it's just everything that was good gets better.
Yeah.
In this detachment.
Yeah.
And like things like the fact that like this really makes up for the shortfall that I think that Chosen aren't that great because they're only the AP2 damage 1. But going to that AP3, you're like like if
More
they're
of them go through.
Yeah, like more stuff. They're more efficient at killing stuff that doesn't other Space Marines that don't have invulnerable saves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're much better at killing stuff.
Yeah.
And now so when they go into a guardsman just doesn't get a save at all.
Yeah.
You know, which is what they shouldn't be like. So
okay,
I think it's a really good detachment. Demon Prince being in, it's an excuse to take Masters of Possession. I don't know if he was to take Sorcerers though.
I love the Chaos Sorcerer model. The current plastic Chaos Sorcerer model is one of my favourite models in the Chaos Space Marine range, and it makes me sad that because he's the guy with the fire, isn't he? Yeah. He's such a cool model.
Him. I used
what? You don't like him?
No, on my Sorcerer because I made his Kandar Kaon. I used the Thousand Suns. What are they called? The new guy with the little stingrays.
Yeah.
Because he's in a really nice pose.
Infernal Master?
That's the one. I used the Infernal Master.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's a really nice model. I think he's probably the best sorcerer model in the game.
The detachment rule, we quite like it on the whole.
Yeah,
Joe did originally think he got extra AP in range attacks as well, and he was going to run 18 Noise Marines and Chaos Space Marines. I'm glad that's not the case.
I think that's probably why.
Well, it doesn't work twice either. It doesn't work, A, because you wouldn't get the AP in shooting. It also doesn't work because I can't
But then I would have just gone, cool, this is my Iron... Because I was like, this is now my Iron Warriors detachment.
Fair.
And I just take 3 units of Havocs, all with heavy bolters.
Yeah, it also makes Obliterators, if you have the Demon Princes and the Psychers to support them, better in both phases, which is good.
Yeah, I like the idea that, like... Because I still like the idea of having 3 squads of heavy bolter Havocs.
Yeah.
Because they're strength 6 sustained, and when you Dark Pact, you take lethal. So they're sustained and lethal strength 6.
Yeah, I like it. I'm a fan of it. Yeah. So we have 4 enhancements as part of this attachment. So the first one, you give it to a Heretic Astartes model only. The bearer gains the Psychic keyword. So you can take a Chaos Lord, you can give it this enhancement, he can stand near your shooting units, and then you get +1 strength because he's a Psyker.
It also means that a Chaos Lord can go in possessed into Chosen.
Well,
and then
more importantly as well, it says Heretic Astartes model, so you can give this enhancement to a Demon Prince.
Well, the Demon Prince is a Psyker.
Is it?
Oh no, because the Demon Prince already gives the buff.
Yeah, but not to the shooting. It doesn't. You have to be in range of a Psyker for the shooting, and a Demon Prince for the melee. If you put that enhancement on a Demon Prince, he gives both buffs out.
Yeah, but if you're going to be hanging around vehicles, and he gets loan up, I suppose, the on foot one. So or you give it to Lord Discordant.
Again, I'm thinking about which is possible. But again, I'm thinking about Demon Princes that want to be running around with things like Obliterators, who are both good at shooting and melee, which is quite nice.
I suppose does the walking one have deep strike? Because I know the flying one does.
Does make him susceptible to anti-psychic. It does, absolutely. Eye of Zadesh is another enhancement, another Heretic Astartes model. Models in the bearer's unit have the Scout 6-inch ability. So you can get possessed units scouting 6 inches.
Which is amazing.
Fucking banging that, innit, let's be honest. I quite like that one quite a lot. It's good. Mind Blade, Psyker model, so you have to already be a Psyker. Melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer's unit have the Lance ability. Also pretty good.
You put that on the Master Possession. In with the possess, because that really makes up for their
oh my lord.
Don't do Art of War. I know you can't. You can do better. I don't know. So that the Lance makes up for the fact they're only strength 5.
Yeah, we're going to pause just for a quick second, Joe.
Why?
Mr. Matt O'Reilly has just come into chat and gifted us 50 of the finest memberships. That's mad good. Matt, thank you so much for 50 gifted, you fucking hero.
I hope, Mr. Matt O'Reilly, that one of your friends who has been collecting like all the combat magazines, like the Combat Patrol ones or whatever the new ones and stuff, they've never opened them because they've just had them stored away, and they go, I'm never going to use this. Just give them to you.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like a whole army.
I like that one. So yeah, Mindblade, I quite like it. Master of Possession, in with Possessed, they get Lance. They start to become quite terrifying. Because if you think about it, as long as you've got the Demon Prince nearby, you can end up with Lance at strength 5 -2, 2 damage. They become quite a good melee unit.
You can also put it on a so a Terminator Sorcerer is quite good. Because you've got a unit of 10 Terminators.
I didn't even think about Terminator Sorcerer, yes.
Because the Terminator Sorcerer gives, basically shoots something and they get better AP or something. But the Terminators, when they attack and they Dark Pact, they reroll all hits anyway.
Yeah, fan of that. Yeah. And then we've got the Infernal Avatar, Heretic Astartes Demon Prince, or Heretic Astartes Demon Prince with Wings model only improve the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2, and improve the armor penetration characteristic of those weapons by 1. You put this on a Khorne Demon Prince, it becomes insane.
It becomes like strength 12. -4.
-4.
If he Dark Packs.
Strength 12 -4 if he Dark Packs. With sustained. Is mad good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I like that quite a lot. It's good on all Demon Princes, but on a Khorne Demon Prince is mental.
Oh yeah, the Khorne one. The thing is like the Emperor's Children one moves faster. I think the Nurgle one gets a higher toughness. So it's tougher and stronger.
Yeah. Okay. We then obviously, as with every single detachment in existence, you get access to 6 new stratagems. So we're going to skim through them quickly and then get Joe's thoughts. So the first one is called Baleful Blessing, which happens any phase just after a Heretic Astartes unit from your army has a mortal wound allocated to it. You then select that Heretic Astartes unit, and until the end of the phase, models in your unit have the Feel No Pain 5+ ability against mortal wounds. So 1 CP for 5 Feel No Pain versus mortals. It's good. It's just good.
It's just good. It's
just
so
a good detachment.
helpful.
Soul Seekers is 1 CP. In your shooting phase, you select 1 Heretic Astartes unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase. And until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit have the Ignores Cover ability. Also very good.
Yeah.
Interestingly, this can be put on things like Noise. I mean, Noise Marines is irrelevant. They've got Ignores Cover anyway. But you get my point. Like, you could put this on. Do Zeech and Flamers have it?
Yeah, I think their Torrent Ignores Cover.
Do they?
The Zeech Flamers.
Oh,
but the thing is, like a Defiler's only AP 1. So shooting a Defiler, it's really good on the Predator. It's really good on... It's just like, if you're running the Vindicator, it's quite useful on that. Because if your opponent's in cover and they're like, oh, I still get a 6-up save. And you're like, 1 CP. No, you don't.
No, you don't, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on.
Or there's people that they say, oh, my vehicle where... The tiny 1mm rear of it is behind cover, so I technically get cover, and you're like 1 CP. The argument's over.
I mean, in that particular circumstance, you don't spend a CP to solve the argument. You just slap them.
I don't think that's acceptable in the terms of tournament rules. If it's your friend, go ahead.
No, I just slap them.
Yeah,
maybe that's what I do. And if I get banned for the tournament, then okay, cool. Right, tea drunk. So next we have No Rest in Death. Single CP stratagem. You'll note, by the way, for this particular detachment, all stratagems are 1 CP. I like it when all stratagems are 1 CP a lot. So it happens in your movement phase. You target 1 Heretic Astartes unit from your army within 9 inches of a Psyker, a Demon Prince, or a Demon Prince with Wings. That's also from your army, obviously, not an enemy one. And then the effect is 1 model in your unit regains up to D3+1 lost wounds. If your unit has the battle line keyword, you can return up to D3 destroyed models, excluding character models, to your unit with their full wounds remaining instead. It's solid, isn't it, for a CP? Bringing stuff back.
Good. Like, Legionnaires are obviously a very solid unit in themselves. I think they're, if you compared them to Emperor's Children, I think they may be a little bit too pricey. But,
yeah.
But they've still got 2 Power Fists, and they put like a Chaos Lord in there, they roll wounds. What I was saying to, I I said to Mikey yesterday, I was like, Berserkers a battle line.
20-man bricks of Berserkers as well.
20-man bricks of Berserkers.
Because again, although they can't dark pass, they can't get the extra AP, you can use this stratagem because they're a Heretic Astartes unit and they can be within range of a Heretic Astartes Demon Prince or Psyker. You just get D3+1 models back. Oh, is it D3+1 or just D3 models, destroy models back. D3 Berserkers come back to your block of 20.
But being able to like a Demon Prince being able to restore D3 plus wounds. Abaddon being able to restore D3+1.
Well, yeah, because remembering again, Demon Princes could use this stratagem on themselves because they're in range of a Demon Prince. So they could just give themselves wounds back, which is quite tasty.
I think it's really clever considering the Demon Prince is like 50 quid from Games Workshop. And bringing this detachment out at a time when Demon Princes are all sold out because of Emperor's Children was brilliant because they're more sold out now.
I like the Demon Prince.
I love the Demon Prince model. I want to convert a Nurgle one because I don't think the standard Demon Prince model it makes a great Sinesh one, makes a great Khorne one, and it makes a great generic one. I don't think it makes a good Tzeentch or Nurgle one.
Interesting. I do like a Demon Prince for a nice when I put the World Eaters down, I like him to be the centre point. All right, Angron, but in terms of like in and amongst the melee, he's a cool centerpiece. He's one of the coolest centerpieces at that kind of scale and size until Logan comes out. Unholy Haste is another 1 CP stratagem. This happens in your charge phase. You target a Heretic Astartes infantry unit from your army that has not been selected to charge this phase. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to declare a charge at a turn in which it advances. So infantry unit, advance and charge. I think this is very much becoming a detachment which is incredibly appealing to things like Possessed.
I feel like it is. It's the Word Bearers detachment, I think, is what it's aimed at. The demonic-y... it's demonic-y Word Bearers detachment without being demonic-y Word Bearers. But also... 20-man Berserker brick, because now they move 8 inches, don't they?
They do move 8 inches base, yes.
8 inches, advance and charge. They also battle lines to get models back. I think is really, really good. It means that Terminators can advance and charge, which is what you want. It's just good.
Yeah, it is decent. Once advance and charge is always just good.
Oh, Jonathan Richards, Terminators lost free strats. No, they haven't lost the free strat. What they've lost is both versions of the Hive Tyrant, which made it really fucking efficient, was that you could do the reduce the strat by 1 every player turn when everyone else's was battle round. Now they've just changed it to be in line with everyone else's battle round. So but then they dropped 30 points.
I was about to say, not if they changed it to battle round, they've dropped it by 30 points each.
My tournament list dropped 100 points.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, it looked like I'd pointed the Tyranids part of that book because everything I ran dropped points.
Yeah. It does go to show that you typically don't necessarily.
But as you said, it does show that I've been handicapping myself 100 points for the last 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. Mutations Curse is the second to last one we'll talk about. So it's in your shooting phase. You pick a Heretic Astartes Psycho unit from your army, and you select one visible enemy unit within 12 inches of your Psycho unit. You roll a d6. On a 1, the enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. On a 2 to a 4, the enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 5 to a 6, the enemy unit suffers 2 d3 mortal wounds. It's like a weird kind of grenade for a CP. And finally, they gave Chaos something and a Psycho something specifically where on a 1, you don't just do mortal wounds to yourself.
Thank fucking God.
Your enemy unit still takes at least 1 mortal wound.
I like it. It gives units that don't carry grenades the grenade strat.
Sort of.
Kind of.
It's less reliable.
I don't like the fact that you have to pay a CP and then you have to roll a dice for a random effect. And he's like, I pay a CP and then I roll a dice and then I either roll an additional dice after that or 2 additional dice. And the thing is, when it's 2D, I don't like 2D3s. On a strat that is already D3, to then say the next one is 2D3 is a bit crap because you can still roll a 2 on 2D3. Obviously, you can roll a 6.
I think for 1 CP, it's okay. And you know that for 1 CP, you're at very minimum, you're doing 1 mortal wound.
I think you just go, that person over there has got 1 wound left, that character, that vehicle, or there's a 1 wound guardsman not there, which I don't really want to have to expend too many resources to deal with, so I'll just fuck him off.
I'd probably take the gamble for 1 CP if they had 2 wounds left as well.
Yeah.
I would, honestly. But, I like it. Cool. Shroud of Chaos is the last one for 1 CP. At the start of your opponent's shooting phase, You pick a Heretic Astartes, Psyker, Demon Prince, or Demon Prince Wings unit. Until the end of the phase, your unit has the following ability: Shroud of Chaos Aura. Models in friendly Heretic Astartes units within 6 inches have stealth. That's really good. An aura of -1 to hit is great.
Yeah, because they got the Demon Prince on foot. Because I wanted to double check it. He gives everyone within 6 inches of him the benefit of cover. So -1 to hit and in cover.
Yeah. That's good. And if he's within 3 inches, he's also low knock.
I also forgot that he's also got the special rule. Each time this model shoots or fights whilst resolving attacks, you can re-roll 1 hit roll and you can re-roll 1 wound roll.
He's decent.
He's not terrible. I might convert up like a foot Demon Prince, I think,
at
some point.
So what we saying? We saying this detachment's solid.
I think it's really good. When I read, the thing is though, I read it last and I was a bit disappointed, but I've managed to go away and mull it over, and I'm actually quite a good detachment.
Here's the big question. Do you think, now we know what we know about AP and shooting, do you think this dethrones the Fabulous Bile detachment?
I think both of them do very different jobs.
Yep.
Right? This one means that, so that one's offensive, one's defensive, I would argue. The build attachment is more of a defensive one, whereas this is a lot more offensive. The benefit of the build attachment is you can just pick a characteristic that's really good. It's a lot more efficient into some armies because you can go, oh, I'm fighting guardsmen, I'll just go +1 toughness, you know, or oh, I'm fighting blah blah, I'll go +1, or you know, or you can make an army that's all shooting and give the entire army have hit on 2s. Or like when I played on Tuesday, I hit on 2s in combat and shooting the entire time. So I was just a bit more efficient with what I already had. But the drawback is you have to take Fabulous Bile as your warlord, which means if you take Abaddon, you can't.
You don't, but it is better
if you
when
want
you do.
If you want your army rule to be better,
yeah,
you have to take Fabulous Bile, and the entire army is about infantry, which is narrative, whereas this one is all chaos units benefit from being near a Demon Prince.
Yeah, okay. I still think that the Fabulous Bile detachment is better.
Yeah, I think it's better
overall.
I think this up until this FAQ that dropped yesterday, this army has the potential to suffer from the same thing that the Death Company detachment had, because Death Company basically couldn't fall back and were OC 0 if there's no chaplains nearby. So your opponents were like, cool, I'll just kill all your chaplains.
Yeah.
Right? So this one, Demon Princes are a lot tougher and harder to kill than chaplains. I would argue that you probably start to lean into like Nurgle Demon Princes just to give them better toughness.
Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like you can, it's like a lot of detachments that rely on you being near certain units. You can just precision out the characters, or you can pick on. It's like the Custodians one that requires you to be near sisters. Just kill all the sisters. Yeah. Cool. Done.
I do like this. This is leaning a lot more, which I've noticed in a lot of stuff recently, where they've gone. It's more character centric, which I like.
A bit more hero hammery.
A bit more hero. They're like, this game is hero hammer. You have character, because the start of the edition, characters were just shit upgrades to make your squad slightly better. Whereas now, they're cooler upgrades that make your squads even better.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that, like, because I was on the Librarian Conclave recently and I really enjoyed that. So this is a bit like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm into it. Okay, yeah. So this one, I think, if we're being honest, though, there was 3 detachments released on yesterday, and I think Joe and I would probably agree that this is the worst of the 3. I'm not saying it's the weakest; it's just the worst of the 3.
Yeah. So I think like they're all like, if you're rating them out of 10, this is like the 7 or the 8.
Yeah, maybe 6.
But I was like, I think like out of the chaos detachments, this is the second. This is fighting for number 1.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Right. Brilliant. We are going to jump into the next detachment now. Like I said, if you've got comments on the chaos one, I'm going to leave them all up. So if you've got comments on the chaos one, stick them on colourful postcards. We're so far on £5 of super chats, doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
Joe and I are really hungry. So if you've got comments, things you want to say, combinations that are good that you want us to think about or talk about or have a look at, this is the time. Because what you can do is you can stick a combination on a super chat, send it in, and then once we've gone through the detachments, we can look at that combination and be like, oh, that's fucking good actually.
This also, as a detachment, means you're more likely to pick a demon prince to be your warlord.
Yeah.
And with the new mission pack, like I think it matters who you pick your warlord.
If you're playing twists.
If you're playing twists, which you should. If you're not playing with twists, I feel like you're playing it wrong.
Right. Okay. So on to the next one, and again, Joe, I am doing these in a specific order on purpose. The next one is the Subterranean Assault. Right?
I said that this is the one I wanted. I was trying to find the stream. It was around the same time that the last three came out, and Liam or Tom asked me, "What would you like to see?" And I said Tyranids, and I said I either want something about Hive Tyrants or something about Trigons and Morlocks.
This apparently hasn't done anything for Joe's theory that GW watch the streams and then act.
They are watching, and they're like, that Joe, he's got some fucking ideas, right? And I got a bit of both yesterday. I got a cool Ravener Trigon Morlock detachment, and Hive Tyrants got cheaper. Yeah. Double bubble. It was so good.
So it hasn't helped that theory. So the detachment...
Did you talk about the Ravener rules yesterday?
No. What about them? I haven't looked.
The model, they haven't even released... There's no release date for the Kill Team box set. The models aren't out, obviously.
People will still own Raveners.
But they've already put the rules for the new Kill Team up.
Have they?
Yeah.
Any good?
Really fucking good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you very happy about
They've done the... We want to sell these out quickly.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And then say, Kill Team's really popular.
Yeah. Bear in mind, it's quite important to remember, with the new Ravener rules, they do have the Burrower keyword.
Okay, so Subterranean Assault is the name of the detachment. It's the new Tyranids detachment that they've brought out. Each time a Tyranids model from your army as part of the Surprise Assault detachment rule makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of a 1.
They could have stopped there, if I'm honest.
Already good.
Yeah.
Already good,
they
right?
They could have just gone, boom.
Whole army, reroll 1s to hit.
Nips. Finished.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Strong. Each time a Burrower unit from your army is set up on the battlefield from reserves, place a circular 40mm tunnel marker anywhere on the battlefield within 1 inches of that unit and more than 3 inches horizontally away from all enemy units. In the reinforcement step of your movement phase, when you set up a unit on the battlefield from reserves, you can set that unit up wholly within 9 inches of your tunnel markers and more than 6 inches horizontally away from enemy units. If an enemy model, excluding aircraft, ends any kind of move within 3 inches of your tunnel marker, that tunnel marker is removed from the battlefield. You will note specifically, chat, it doesn't say that if you set up 6 inches away from enemy units, you can't charge. There's a lot more 6-inch charges coming into the game.
It's really good. We discovered yesterday that there's no limit to what can go through that hole.
Well, it's a 40mm hole that you can fucking plough a Carnifex through.
Think bigger. Think Hierophant. Just love the imagery of this fucking Hierophant going, just like bursting out. It's 6 inches away and then charging.
What a shame Joe doesn't own a Hierophant.
I know.
How much is a Hierophant, Joe?
350 quid.
Is it?
I stood next to one looking sad.
If today's Super Chats gets to £600 over the course of both streams, and it's not going to, so I'm safe here, right? Then I'll buy you a Hierophant.
I'm at Warhammer tomorrow as well.
Exactly, there you go.
So I stood next to it and looked really sad.
Yeah.
And then Kev's son bought himself one. Selfish. He's got 2 now.
We then have a keyword section. Morlocks and Trigons gain the Borrower's keyword, as do Raveners. In the muster army step, you can select up to 2 Trigon models from your army. The selected units gain the character keyword. So Trigons can be your warlords.
Yeah, because obviously they used to be the Trigon Prime.
Yeah.
Which obviously we'll talk about in a minute. I think this attachment is also heavily influenced by Space Marine 2.
Maybe.
Because there's a mission where you have to go and fight a Trigon. Also, the rules for the Trigon, that thing is cray-cray.
This is good. There's lots of attacks, isn't it?
It's like 12 attacks at strength 9, so strength 10 if it's in Synapse, -2 damage free, and, most importantly, for this army rule, it can deep strike 6 inches away. So it can deep strike 6 inches away and create a hole
And rerolls ones to...
And reroll ones to hit. But weirdly, it can't charge, which is important. So it makes the hole, and it's like digging. It's too busy digging a hole with a little spade, and then everyone comes out of it. So you go poof, and then suddenly, old 1 eye and 2 Carnifexes just go blah straight at you, which is, I love it.
So yeah, of course, because old 1 eye and 2 Carnifexes is a single unit.
It's a single
they
unit.
Just come out of a 40mm hole.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a bar of soap.
So, Synaptic Strategy is your first enhancement. Tyranid model only. Once per battle, you could target the bearer's unit with the Rapid Ingress stratagem for 0 CP, and can do so even if you've already targeted a different unit with that stratagem this phase, which means that you can 2 CP Rapid Ingress, which is pretty tidy. It's very good, that.
It's very good. So it means that like you can have
1 CP, 2 Rapid Ingress, sorry, not 2 CP.
1 CP, so you can have like a unit, you can have a Trigon. You'd ideally want the Trigons to pop up in the back lines, like turn 2. This is really strong if you go second.
Yeah.
Because what can happen is he can pop up, make the hole, and you can have 2 holes made, which then your opponent goes, fuck, I have to deal with this. But it's after they've moved, so they then can't.
Yeah.
Their only option is to charge you, and they're like, don't really want to charge a Trigon. Because it will clap.
So what you can do is you can Rapid Ingress your Trigon.
Yeah.
So it's very, very good, actually. This is incredibly good if your opponent gets first turn.
It's
Because battle round 2, in your opponent's movement phase, you Rapid Ingress a Trigon at the end of their movement phase.
Yeah.
And then you go, and now my hole's here, and in my turn, guess what's coming out of it? And you can't stop it.
Well, I think it's because you Rapid Ingress 2 Trigons, right?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, in 2 different places. It means that in your movement phase, your Trigons move away, which then creates more space for stuff to come out of the holes.
Yeah, of course.
So good.
Really good enhancement.
Also, insanely narrative detachment.
It is very narrative, and it's cool.
Yeah, me and Paddy
were cool.
Me and Paddy were talking about it, about having like a narrative game where you have like Guard or Space Marines, and they deploy their entire army on the table, and then you just null deploy the entire Tyranid army.
Yeah.
And then you just have all these burrower units come up, and then all the Tyranids like units come out of the holes behind it, like an invasion.
Well, you're still restricted to how much you can put in reserve, aren't you?
Well, no, because you'd be a special mission.
Oh, narrative. You did say narrative.
Like
Yeah, you're
narrative
right. Sorry,
mission.
yeah, of course.
So, that'd be cool.
Tremor Senses is the next enhancement, which is a Tyranid model only. After both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 friendly Tyranid units from your army and redeploy them. Solid. When doing so, you can put these units into strategic reserve, regardless of how many units are already in strategic reserve. Really fucking
in this
solid.
army, insanely strong.
Very, very good. Almost an auto-take enhancement, I think, in this particular detachment, right? You could put your terrifying melee units down first. You could put 2 or 3 terrifying melee units on the table first. And as you know, when you're playing competitively, it's the you go, I go deployment. So you put your scariest things down, you let your opponent react to where you're putting your scariest things. Then at the start of battle, you go, lol, straight to strategic reserve.
Yeah.
So now I've already got 50% of my army in reserve. Now this extra stuff's also going to reserve because it circumvents the restriction. And like you've just counter deployed against them, I'm now going to pop up somewhere completely fucking different.
It's like you can put like Hive Tyrants with like the Swarm Lord. You could put the Swarm Lord and his unit on the table with a big unit of Tyrant Guard and go, and your opponent's like, cool, I'll just shoot at them. And you go, cool, it's going away anyway. You know, you can just plonk it in the middle, pocket in the open, knowing that it's going to leave.
Yeah, I like it. We've then got Vanguard Intellect, Tyranid's model with the Deep Strike ability only. The bearer's unit can be set up using the Deep Strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of any mission rules. Very good.
It's crazy.
Turn 1 Deep Strike.
Yeah.
And then we've got Trigon Prime. Trigon model only. The bearer gains a synapse keyword, improve the strength and weapon skill characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in the bearer of the bearer by 1. That's fucking insane. So he gains synapse. He goes to 2+ weapon skill. Remembering he rerolls 1s in this attachment anyway, and he gets extra strength, which is extra strength again because synapse.
Yeah, so he gets +2 strength.
It's +2 strength. Very good.
And then also it means that when you unleash the hive mind, anyone within 6 inches of him is an additional -1.
He's very good.
I think it's so good.
I think
it's nice to see a good army rule backed up by a good. And don't forget, like your entire army is just like this detachment didn't need the hit rolls of 1.
Yeah,
but having it makes this detachment insanely good.
The thing is with these enhancements as well is quite often when you look at enhancements, you're like, yeah, that one's just not going to get taken. I can see a reason to run all 4 enhancements.
Oh yeah. Well, you can only take 3, can't you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's good. The internal balance of enhancements is great because I look at all 4 of those and goes, I want all 4, but I can't take all 4. So which one do you leave out?
Yeah.
It's quite difficult, actually.
The only one I probably wouldn't take is the turn 1 deep strike. Right? Because like when if you go first, it's not super helpful. Because your only real option is to pop up directly in front of your opponent. And if you're Tyranids, you can cover that ground quite comfortably. But if you go second and your opponent is too eager and moves forward too quickly, then it's really, really strong. But then also means that if your opponent goes first, it means that turn 1 you can then rapid ingress through the hole you've already created.
I'm also happy because the old Trigon Morlock model was my favourite Tyranid model. It did change because of the Lictor kit, but it was my favourite Tyranid model. So I'm actually super happy.
So I've got 2 Morlocks and a Trigon. I've been trying to find, because obviously the Trigon was originally a Forge World kit in resin, and I want to get the resin one because it's easier to repose.
This is one of those rare detachments where I'm like, this doesn't exist particularly commonly. This is one of those detachments where I don't care about any other detachment. I would collect an army just to run this detachment, and I would build a 2,000 point army specifically for this detachment. 3 Trigons, 3 Morlocks, all the Raveners.
Well, in terms of like convert, it's just you can make a really cool army of converting models, all like jumping out of the ground and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not that inventive. I just
really
build
cool.
them all the same. So there you go. There's Tyranids. I would build one of them as a Trigon. I'm going to talk myself into buying worms. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we've then got some stratagems for you wonderful human beings. Again, 6, and again, all 1 CP. Good work, GW. So adaptive optimization is the first one, which is in your command phase. You pick a Morlock or Trigon unit from your army until the start of your next command phase. It has synapse. Solid stratagem.
Really good.
Solid stratagem straight away. You've then got Tunnel Network, 1 CP, end of your movement phase, 1 Tyranid unit from your army that is wholly within 9 inches of 1 or more of your tunnel markers. Remove it from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 9 inches of another tunnel marker you placed and more than 6 inches horizontally from one enemy units. So you can now start fucking whack-a-moling your worms.
Yeah. It's really good. Because if your opponent closes, like, when your opponent closes a hole, a Trigon opens a hole. There's no gods here, only worms. So I think it's really good. Ezzy, it's got the Forge World Trigon. Missing spikes is not a problem. Spikes can be resolved,
I think this stratagem is insanely good.
It's mad good.
I think it's insanely good.
Yeah.
It's also good if your opponent's got things like reactive moves because it happens in the movement phase. And because it's the end of your movement phase, it's also after your reinforcement step. So it might be that you pop a hole up here and then at the end of the movement phase, you go down this one and come back up that. It's because it comes down and up straight away as well. You don't have to hold it off for a turn. It's fucking insanely good.
Yeah.
I think it's got a lot of technical play.
Especially when I think after this, before we do Dark Angels, we look at the new Ravner rules. Because I think it's important for this detachment.
Getting them up might not be the easiest, but we can try.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're really good.
Okay, cool. So we've then got the replenishing swarm stratagem for a single CP, which is in your movement phase. 1 Tyranid unit from your army, wholly within 9 inches of 1 or more tunnel markers you placed. 1 model in your unit regains up to D3 plus 1 lost wounds, or you can return up to D3 plus 1 destroyed models with a wounds characteristic of 1 to your unit, with their full wounds remaining instead. They've got wounds characteristic of 1, so you didn't need that extra sentence, but hey.
I think
they didn't need to say.
I'm just trying to think of what.
They didn't say if you've got a wounds characteristic of 1, they didn't say you then can only give them their full wounds remaining because they've only got wounds characteristic of 1 anyway. If they haven't got their full wounds, they're dead.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out
why they put that in there.
But I suppose it's just they were like, someone could probably grammar this in a situation where they could get something else.
So this is, you can heal shit within range of a tunnel marker.
Yeah.
What's interesting is you only have to be within 9 inches of it. And you don't have to be wholly within.
It's really,
Oh, you do have to be wholly within.
Yeah, so I really like it because this detachment is the old Trigon rule. So in 6th edition, when the Trigon model came out, I think, when they when it deep struck in, it would create a hole, and you put like a blast marker down, and then your units could come out. It could come out of reserve from it. So this is basically its old rule, but it's made a detachment from it. But I like there's the narrative idea that you've got all these like units of gaunts that are just constantly being reinforced by a constant tide of gaunts coming out.
Swarming Assault is another single CP in your charge phase. 1 Tyrannid monster unit from your army that was set up as a reinforcement this turn. Until the end of the phase, friendly Tyrannid units within 6 inches of your unit can re-roll charge rolls. That's obviously itself as well. It's in range of itself. So that's... I mean, you can also place within 6 inches of opponents. You get basically 6-inch charges with re-rolls. Is very nice. Very, very nice. We then get the Enfilading Emergence. I think I've said that right. End of your movement phase. 1 Tyrannid unit from your army that was set up as reinforcements this turn. Until the end of your next fight phase, weapons equipped by models in your unit have the sustained hits 1 and ignores cover abilities.
Really good.
Until the end of your next fight phase. So through shooting and fighting, you get sustained hits 1, and it's Tyrannid's unit. It's not monster, it's not infantry, just Tyrannid's unit. That's really good.
Yeah, mad good. It's so good.
You do have to be set up as reinforcements, but you know.
But you could put it on what's it called?
Exocrine.
You could put on Tyrannofex.
It's just got to come out of a hole.
Yeah. You could have got thanks to Schooner, I've got some Tyrant Guard. Some Hive Guard with the guns. It's 5. So if anyone's got a spare Tyrant Guard or Hive Guard, let me know because 5 is an odd number. But they used to be able to take in 5s. And then it's just... But there's like sustained hits 1. You go, cool, my Carnifexes came out. And they're going to charge you from 6 inches away. They've got sustained hits now.
Sustained hits 1 and reroll 1s to hit as well because detachment roll. And then retreat below, single CP stratagem, end of your opponent's fight phase, 1 Tyrannid's unit or up to 2 borrow units from your army that are not within engagement range of of 1 or more enemy units. Remove them from the battlefield and place it in strategic reserve. Remembering it's the end of your opponent's fight phase, so your next turn is straight after, and your movement phase is straight after. So you just go disappear, straight back into through a hole.
The thing is though, you can come out of a hole. So because obviously when a Trigon appears 6 inches away, it can't charge. But so a Trigon can go to disappear and then come out of a hole and then charge you.
Yeah, the only downside is you can't come out of a hole in rapid ingress.
That's fine.
But it's just
thing is though, Raveners have that rule. So for 1 CP, your multiple units of Raveners and 2 Trigons, 2 Morlocks, and go poop and then come back.
Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
With retreat below, tunnel network, and the army rule or the detachment rule in general, you know, it's very good. It's very like there's lots of movement shenanigans. It's quite a technical play. You can go, I'm up, I'm down, I'm back up over here, I'm down, I'm back up over here, I'm down.
And if you're, I think like versus armies that've got a high unit count, like you have to be careful where you put the holes because they can close them quite quickly, I think. But low unit count armies are going to hate this.
Ash says, Ash, why are you asking stupid questions?
What's he saying?
Trigons can't charge if they do the tunnel network. Yeah, if they set the hole up.
If they set the hole up, they can't.
Why can't they charge?
Because their rule. Because
they just have to be 9 inches away, wouldn't they?
So let me just check the wording on it. Trigon. That's Wygon. Trigon. Boom. So abilities. In your movement phase, when this model is set up on the battlefield using Deep Strike ability, it can use a subterranean tunnel. If it does, this model can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 6 inches horizontally away from all enemy units, but until the end of the turn, it is not eligible to declare a charge.
Yeah.
But, so what you can...
Right.
That's weird. So it means that even if it deep strikes... By the wording of this, if it deep strikes 9 inches away, it can't charge either.
No, it doesn't say that.
It says... it can use a subterranean. Oh,
use subterranean
if
assault.
you deep strike. So what you can do, which is interesting, is deep strike 9 away.
Yeah.
Put the 40 mil hole in front of you.
Yeah.
And then people can get out of the hole. But it means the Trigon still charge, but its charge is longer.
Also, if a Trigon doesn't use a subterranean assault ability but comes out of a hole made by another Trigon,
it can charge.
It can then charge.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
The subterranean assault rule says it can use this ability, it doesn't have to. So it's fine.
Yeah, it's really good.
Right. He also said Raveners can't. I don't know why Raveners can't. They have the burrow ability. So we've read the stratagems. The stratagems are decent. Joe wants me to look at Raveners. So give me 1 second, team, to navigate my way through this.
Go for a wee of excitement.
Doing this on this screen is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm going to be honest with you. Raveners. Okay, I haven't read this yet. Joe has 10-inch move, toughness 5, 4 up save, 3 wounds, leadership 8, OC 1, Ravener claws and talons twin linked, so each one gets 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s at strength 5, -2, 2 damage. That's a bit fucking good, actually, for Raveners, to be honest with you. Death from below. At the end of your opponent's turn, if this unit is not within engagement range of one of my enemy units, move it from the battlefield, place its strategic reserves. That's decent. 5 models in the unit, 125 points. That's really fucking good. Great Devourer, Vanguard Invader, Burrow Raveners. Solid. Is there any more details? Hyper-adapted Raveners. Trigon dig tunnels, disappears with strat, comes back through hole he made, charges from 6. Yeah, that's fine. Oh no, it says different. No, I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about tunnel network, right? 1 through unit from the army, wholly within 9 inches of one or more of the tunnel markers, remove that unit from the battlefield and set it up wholly within 9 inches of another tunnel marker. Another tunnel marker, mate. Right, so in that particular example you give me, Ash, you can't come up through the same hole again, okay? It does say another tunnel marker. So we then have the hyper-adapted Raveners. So still 10-inch move. What are we? 10, 5, 4, 3, 8, 1. 10, 5, 4, 6, 7, 1 for the prime. 3, 8, 1 for the normal Raveners. There's a range weapon for the hyper-adaptive version. 12-inch range. Assault ignores cover torrent. So it's a flamer. D6 plus 3, strength 6 plus 1, 1 damage. And the primes, claws, and talons are anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5+ twin linked. That's an odd one.
Well, it's 5+, but they're strength 5 because they're not designed to fight.
Again, 6 attacks over the 3 attacks, but the rest of it's the same. So 5 -2, 2. And then the Ravener heavy claws and talons are the same. So they basically gain anti-monster, anti-vehicle 5+ twin linked. Deep strike, leader, Shadow of the Warp, Ravener primarily synapse. So he's got synapse, which is decent. Alpha Invader weapons have the sustained hits 1 ability. Once per battle round, you can target this with the rapid ingress and heroic for 0 CP. Solid. 165 points, that's very good.
But, scroll down.
More hyper-adaptive Raveners.
It's a leader unit. So it can lead a unit of Raveners. So the Raveners give this unit the redeploy.
Yeah.
Uppy downy. And this unit gives normal Raveners sustained hits.
I don't know if we needed the extra. I mean, I honestly read that. I was like, decent.
I was like,
decent.
Sad warrior noises.
Yeah.
Because the warriors are terrible now. Because the thing is, though, like, when you look at that stat line, right, they die just as quickly as Tyranid warriors. But differently, it says the warriors can't deep strike and their damage output is garbage.
So you can have these in a unit of 10, essentially, by having 5 of these and 5 of these in one unit.
Yeah.
Solid.
Really good.
Solid.
Really good. Like that. Because before,
I didn't think they'd be damaged too, I'll be honest.
Well, because before they were 6 attacks, but like AP 1, damage 1. So everyone was just taking units of 3 just to go uppy downy.
Yeah.
But now it's a kill team. Games Workshop's like, how do we sell more?
Yeah, they are.
Give them an actual worthwhile output.
They are looking to sell models, aren't they? And interestingly, if you do, to be honest with you as well, in seriousness, 165 plus. So 290 points for 10 Raveners that do all that stuff and has synapse.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty decent.
And it's a character. And it's a Vanguard Invader unit. So if you take it in the other detachment, they get advanced in charge.
You don't take it in the detachment, Joe. You take this in the uppy downy
I'll
detachment.
be that. You take it the up and down detachment, and the fact that they get re-roll ones to hit in it as well.
Yeah, it's really good. It's
so good.
They're solid. They're really solid. That is lots of Kill Team boxes sold. Look how good Kill Team is. Actually, everyone's using it in 40K.
This might be the first time that I actually try and buy a Kill Team box set on release.
What comes in the? Is it the Admech stuff?
So it's the dog shit Agmech team.
Yeah,
is not good.
So we'll just wait for these to come out separately.
But I think you get 10. It's either 5 or 10 Raveners and 10 Hormagauns.
Yeah, so that's fine, but the Admech half is dog shit.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just wait for them to come out separately.
Well. We've got Tyranid terrain.
We've got some Tyranid terrain.
So yeah, I might just wait for it to come out and then.
So there you go. That's Tyranids. Detachment wise,
so good.
Probably one of their strongest.
I think it is the strongest.
Yeah.
Because obviously everyone I know that plays Tyranids tends to just play Invasion Fleet because it's the most efficient.
Yeah. It's a solid bank of stratagems. It's 4 very good enhancements. And it's a very good army rule before even mixing in the reroll ones to hit all the time.
Yeah.
It's just solid.
Yeah.
I'm just a big fan, chap. I like it.
Yeah.
This is one of those, honestly, like I said already, if it wasn't for the fact that I've got such a monumental, really fucking exceptional 3-inch erection for Space Wolves, I could be very... If Space Wolves weren't a thing right now and I was a bit kind of, I don't know what I'm going to do with 40k, and this came out, I'd be like, I'm going to be buying some Trigons.
Yeah, I've got
those.
the one Trigon, and I'm like, 3 Trigons.
Yeah. This is very good. And
really,
I love
really
Morlock. I fucking love a Morlock.
Yeah. And
Morlocks make me excited.
And much like my favourite video on the hub, I'm going to play What Can I Fit in This Hole? just be like, how big can we go in this hole?
When does it actually go on sale? Great question, Mike. No one knows.
No one knows.
And if they do, they're not allowed to tell you.
Yeah.
And then we've got the last one, right? And I have done these in an order. And that's because this one, I was worried that it might get Joe stripping off in the studio and helicoptering around the room.
I think you've got 3 very good detachments that have been released, but I think the Tyranid one is the most narrative detachment that we've had for a long time.
I agree.
Yeah.
So the Tyranid one is the most narrative.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah.
This one is probably the best.
This one is the best of the 3.
Yeah. Like I said, because of what this one is, I nearly saw Joe helicoptering around the studio naked, right? So, Wrath of the Rock. Dutiful Tenacity. Each time an attack targets a Adeptus Astartes infantry or mounted unit from your army, if the strength characteristic of that attack is greater than the toughness characteristic of that unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. So, if you're stronger than I am tough, it's -1 to wounds.
All the time.
It's fucking exceptional.
In combat and shooting.
Exceptional.
The Iron Warriors attachment...
Just shooting.
Is just shooting. I feel the Iron Warriors attachment needs to be updated to be this.
Yeah.
Because...
Coronal says, bro, just re-rolling all ones to hit on every unit, no exceptions, has to be one of the strongest attachment rules in the game. Agree.
Yeah.
Strong agree.
Yeah, like...
It's mad. I read that and was like, hang on, there's more to come.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, I've read that bit, which is nuts, because like the Blood Angels one, you have to be a character unit to get it. And then I was like, oh, and there's a massive paragraph underneath this.
And I thought that was a bit good. And then this thing came out. -1 to wound against everything that's stronger than you are as Huff is mad.
So Deathwing Knights, -1 to wound now.
And
-1 damage.
So
on a 4 wound model.
saw last Thursday, to Joe's detriment, how difficult it can be to kill 5 Wolfguard Terminators, which just have 4 wounds with a Storm Shield and -1 to wound. Deathwing Knights have that same thing, but they also have A, better damage output, and B, -1 damage. But...
And if you put a chaplain in the unit, +1 wound.
Yeah.
So you charge into them, do nothing.
So
and they go, bam!
That's a bit of a
also
problem.
the same rule they just gave to the Lion.
He did, yeah. He
The
gets it all
Lion's
the time.
got that rule flat.
They're using this for a lot at the moment, and it's a better version of what it was before, where it was like -1 to wound all the time, which was really shit when you had things like las guns and you're a guardsman.
-1 to wound all the time is a real feel bad.
Yeah.
I think it's a real feel bad.
-1 to wound when you're stronger than I am tough means that you're never being made to wound worse than like a 4 if you've got decent weapons.
But it means if you're strength 3, wounding strength 5, going to 6s is just horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's jump into the enhancements. We've got Tempered in Battle, which is an aura ability for an Adeptus Astartes model. While a friendly Adeptus Astartes unit within 6 of this unit, or this model, sorry, you can reroll Battle Shock and Leadership test to take that unit. It's not bad.
All right.
Cool.
It's not the best one in this lineup.
It's
It's useful.
Battle Shock does more now than it did at the launch of 10th edition, but it's still just a shit set of rules that no one really fucking cares about for the most part.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a Chaos Knights player and you're like, it's my army rule. Oh, yawn. Ancient Weapons, adapt to society's model from your only. Improve the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by the bearer by 2, and improve the armor penetration and damage characteristic of those weapons by 1. That's solid.
So good. Because it means that the Space Marine Captain in Terminator armor is now good. Because because it means his sword, which gives more attacks, goes up to strength 7 or 8 minus 3 damage free. It's very, very scary. Chaplains can go to AP2 damage 3.
So chaplains in Terminator armor go, because of the +2 strength, right? They go to strength 8 -2 flat 3 damage with their Crozius.
So you can also
which
put it
is
on
very good.
a captain with a jump pack and a thunder hammer. So it goes to strength 10 -3 damage 3.
It's solid.
It's really good.
Isn't it? It's really, really good. You can also you can also give that same melee profile to a chaplain on a bike leading Ravenwing.
Yeah, the best person to give it to is the bog standard Space Marine Captain with a power sword.
Why?
Because when he goes best day ever, he goes to 9 attacks, strength 7, AP 3, damage 3, dev wounds.
I'd also wouldn't be completely against, right? We see Paddy take this unit a lot, and it's a very, very popular choice competitively. And if you've got a few spare points, why you could chuck this on the lieutenant with combi weapon, the lone up guy, because he goes then he gets sustained hits 1 with 5 attacks hitting on 2s, and with this enhancement he goes to strength 6 AP2 2 damage, and infantry 4+. Like it just makes everything better.
Hang on, come back. Hang on, what's it called? Black.
Oh.
Ravenwing Black Knights Command Squad? No, where are you? Come back! Come back! Like a Titanic. Come back! You watch Titanic? You don't look like someone that's watched Titanic.
Well, why? I know how it finishes. Boat sinks.
Yeah. And all...
Boat sinks. Film done.
Everyone freezes. A rich woman...
Pointless film. Absolutely pointless film.
A rich woman drowns a poor Irish boy.
It's like Great Escape. It's called The Great Escape, so I guess he gets away.
The thing I like about that that film, and no one ever really talks about, is that I found Black Knights, but where's the command squad?
Ravenwing Command Squad. Got it. R.
It's not there. Ravenwing Black Knights. Oh, it's because I'm being stupid.
Were you looking at other data sheets?
Yeah, not in the command squad. Not in the fucking. Where are you? Ravenwing Command Squad. Boom. Unit composition.
He has the character keyword, Joe. Yeah.
He does have the character keyword.
He does.
So the Ravenwing.
I could have just told you that.
So the Ravenwing champion is 6 attacks, strength 7, -2, 3 damage.
Yes, he goes quite silly.
He gets a bit mental because he can join Black Knights, and then the Black Knights give him. Bear with, talk amongst yourselves.
Why have you gone to the list? Why aren't you just in the Dark Angel supplement? Much faster.
Because then, if he's in a unit of Black Knights, then he gets anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4+. Or if you put them in Outriders, they give him on the charge an additional +1 strength and an additional damage. So then he's going to damage 4.
It's decent. It's really good.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Deathwing Assault is the next one. Deathwing model with the Deep Strike ability only. The Bearer's unit can be set up using the Deep Strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase.
So good.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Especially when, again, if you're adding a Deathwing, if you're adding a captain with Deathwing keyword to a unit of Terminators, like Deathwing Knights, and you're dropping that in your opponent's backfield on turn 1 and saying, deal with that, deal with what's going to be something like 26 wounds that are -1 to wound, -1 damage, and I think this detachment's got access to Armor of Contempt. Honestly, unbelievable. So good. And then Lord of the Raven Wing model only. You can reroll advance and charge rolls made for the bearer's unit. Also good on that command squad we just talked about as well. So the bottom three, this is where one of those case in points, I think, where the first one, you look at that first enhancement, you probably don't ever take it. You look at the other three, you've probably got play for every single one.
Yeah.
So if you've got the points for some of them, it's worth squeezing some of them in.
The Deathwing Assault, like I said, is a bit situational, but Ancient Weapons definitely taking, I think...
Well, the other thing with Deathwing Assault, so you said with Tyranids, the reason why you wouldn't probably take the one where you could deep strike turn one is because you're dropping it in front of your whole enemy's army in the middle of the battlefield. Yeah. Now, some people won't be great at screening, and you can get in their backfield, but if you are dropping a unit of 5 Deathwing Terminators and a character in the middle of no man's land in front of their army, you're still going, come at me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still like... They've got to do a lot of work to remove that unit.
Yeah, so it's really, I think it's better that, but I think also, I don't think it's necessarily so much in the Tyranid detachment because Tyranids move so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think. Oh yeah, Inner Circle Companions in this attachment also -1 to hit and -1 to wound.
Cool.
What's about Titanic? Yeah, old woman about to die. The last thing she's thinking about is some boy that she had a fling with over the course of like 24 hours and then drowned him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we go into the stratagems. Now, this is different to the last two. There's 6 stratagems, but 5 of them are 1 CP, 1's 2 CP. So we'll start on the 2 CP stratagem, Inescapable Justice. Any phase, just after your Oath of Moment target is destroyed, one Adeptus Astartes character unit that is on the battlefield. Select an enemy unit within 12 inches of and visible to your unit. That enemy unit becomes your Oath of Moment unit until the start of your next command phase. This is... For 2 CP, I was like, oh, there's a 2 CP strat. Then I read it, and I was like, it's very, very good.
It's basically what Gilliman has, but in my opinion, better.
And 2 CP sounds a lot until you have to be within range of a character unit. So just take captains that are -1 CP.
So in this army, where you're probably, like, it's Dark Angels, you're always taking Azrael. So he gives you an additional CP. And then you're probably taking captains. So yeah, so realistically, it's not that expensive.
Yeah,
I think, and for how powerful it is, because when it's Gilliman, he picks 2 units, the first and the second. You have to kill the first unit, and then then you apply it to the second unit, the Oath. If you don't kill the first unit, it's a problem. Whereas this one, you go, I've killed a unit, I'll move over to someone else. So you don't have to commit, but it's a lot more tactically.
Well, it's also like you say, because it says after the Oath target's destroyed,
so
you don't have to spend the CP and hope.
Yeah.
But because you can put it on a captain unit, for example, or a Terminator captain unit, well, it's just -1 CP, so it's only going to cost me 1 anyway.
Yeah.
And if you're running Dark Angels, you're probably running Azrael, so you get extra CP as well. So it's just solid. It's just really fucking good. Tactical Mastery for 1 CP. Your movement phase, 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. Effect, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it advanced. If your unit has the Ravenwing keyword, it is also eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. Fucking solid.
In a unit where you're running slow infantry, banging.
Advance and charge, no matter what. Fall back and charge if you're also Ravenwing.
And I think this attachment is the first time I'm actually interested in bringing Ravenwing. I bring Samael because I like Samael. I think he's cool. But you look at this attachment like, there are reasons to make some really cool, fast bike people. What this attachment now needs is a new Black Knight box set.
It does need a new Black Knight box set.
Models.
That's dangerous for me, a man who likes motorbikes, though. Lion's Will. So, in short, that stratagem is incredible for 1 CP. It's very, very good. Lion's Will for 1 CP. Your command phase, 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Until the start of your next command phase, add 1 to the objective characteristic of models in your unit. In addition, until the end of the turn, if your unit does not have the Deathwing, Ravenwing, or vehicle keywords, each model in your unit makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So +1 AC on objectives if you're in engagement range is already good.
Yeah.
That's worth it for a CP. And if you happen to not have any of those keywords, which I would be surprised at considering the detachment rule, add 1 to the hit roll.
So Tactical Marines, you're probably looking at because Tactical Marines, Intercessors, become a lot better in this. So +1 to hit. with their fucking a million shots that they put out. Hell blasters hitting on 2s.
Well, the +1 to hit. One of the army that is with an engagement. The +1 to hit doesn't really help for shooting because you have to be in engagement range. Assault intercessors.
Yeah, assault intercessors. I'd say blade guard, but they get the Deathwing keyword. Yeah. Terminators get it.
It's exactly.
It's intercessors, isn't it?
It's assault intercessors basically. Like aggressors would get it. So +1 to hit on power fists with aggressors would get it. That's not bad.
Yeah, dreadnoughts get the Deathwing keyword.
Aggressors also, by the way. Can we talk about heavy intercessors and aggressors? Anything in Gravis that at this point would be -1 to wound.
And they got cheaper.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Someone said earlier the Gravis captain, because if you take 2 of the same weapon, he gets extra attacks on that weapon. So you could take double power fist and then get all the extra attacks and strength.
So it's not bad. It's decent. It's okay. Relics of the Dark Age.
It's situation. What you're after is the +1 OC.
Yeah, you are.
Because most Terminators.
Let's be honest, right? The +1 OC is worth the 1 CP.
Yeah. There's so many times where, because both players command phase, so this is a good stratagem for taking objectives off your opponent.
Yep, it's just good.
Yeah, it's
+1 OC is just good. It's just great.
I was like, if you take because Terminators are OC1. You could, if you're playing into this stratagem, you could take an Ancient, which puts them to OC2, which means that if you do that, they go to OC3. So then they're...
Grey Hunters.
Yeah. Then they're the same as Grey Hunters for some reason. But it means like... Well, what you do is you take all Intercessors, all with Ancient, so they're all standard OC3, then they go to OC4, and then you definitely take a dib off of the 2 Grey Hunter players,
So Relics of the Dark Age, right? Your shooting phase, 1 Adept Society's infantry or mounted unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot this phase until the end of the phase, add 2 to the strength characteristic of range weapons equipped by models in that unit. It's good.
It's so good.
It's good.
So
power up Hell Blasters.
This is obviously for all the plasmas, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, you power up Hell Blasters, you power up Black Knights, not Dark Knight, that's Batman. You power up Black Knights, you power up Hell Blasters.
So the Plasma Talons are 2 shots, rapid fire. They could. So if you go to Hazardous, it goes straight 10.
Joe, let's not forget, it just says the Dempsey Astartes infantry or mounted unit. You could literally put this on Eradicators and make their melters strength 11.
Yeah, you got to put them on the Eliminators.
It's really good.
T-shirt launchers, your favourite unit.
Aggressors with flamers. It's really good. It's really good. It is really good. It's a solid attachment.
There's no world that's not a bad strategy.
No, it's good.
Right. Bog standard Terminators with Stormbolters, because it means that into Eldar, Sisters, Guard,
2s to wound.
2s to wound.
Yeah, solid. 100%. Yeah. Really, really good. You're right with what you said. I think you said it yourself as well. If you can stand the models, it's good on things like T-shirt launchers. It's just a solid stratagem. I'm a big fan of it. Yeah, okay, it's ranged weapons, but let's face it, Dark Angels are kind of an all-wings option. Joe and I are such melee-focused players. It's often easy to forget there's a ton of ranged weapons that exist in the book. Infernus Marines. Strength 6 flamers and -1/1 damage.
Strength 7.
Are they strength 5 normally? Strength 5 -1/1 damage ignores cover flamers. That's actually fucking exceptional.
So when they go to strength 7, they're wounding custodes on 3s.
Right? That's great.
So good.
That's really good.
It's just we've got 10 Infernus. I'm going to put Infernus Marines into my list for tonight.
I thought you were.
That's what I'm going to do.
Right, we've then got Armour of Contempt. Listen to this one carefully. 1 CP, your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army that was selected as the target of 1 or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time an attack targets your unit, worsen the armor penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. I'm going to repeat that last part, Joe. Until the end of the phase.
I'm pretty sure this Armour of Contempt comes under the same...
I want to, because this is old Armour of Contempt.
This is old Armour of Contempt. Part of me feels like Armour of anything. I feel like this still falls under there's an FAQ somewhere in the 147 pages of FAQs on the Games Workshop website that says it's only for that one one person shooting at you. But if not, if it's fucking banging, isn't it? Really?
I don't know. Okay, here's why I'm reiterating the until the end of the phase, because I don't understand why, if you're going to make that rule, that FAQ for Armour of Contempt so far, that it's only until the attacking unit finishes making its attacks, why you would then create what is a digital only product, because it's not being physically printed anywhere, that you have to type up on a PDF and will have been typed up within the last 3 months. Since that rule has been made, why you would then put the old version in unless it's intentional?
But they've been doing that for ages. They still do. The captain wording is change the CP cost to 0 on all of the stuff.
Why do that though? Why not? If you're going to print it here, why not like just put the new version in?
I suppose it's so they can just go, if they decide that change isn't working anymore, they can take it off the data slate. They don't have to change loads of files.
Data slate, it's in the data slate. I get it's in the data slate. I understand it's in the data slate. And for everything that's come pre that data slate, or that had already gone to print when that data slate comes out, I understand. But this isn't in a codex that came pre data slate.
Because if they do decide to change it, they only have to change the data slate, not like codexes and PDFs.
They're just fucking idiots, aren't they? So either this is intentional and it's the strongest version of Armour of Contempt in the game, or what I suspect is this is just them being fucking stupid and lazy, and actually it's the new version of Armour of Contempt.
It is and it isn't, right? Because it keeps it in line with all the others.
It is stupid because they could just print the new version in this.
I think they just
it's digital only, Joe.
It's copy and paste, though, isn't it? It's just like...
No, I get that, which is why I'm calling it laziness. If it is intended to be the new version, it's laziness. If it's the old version, why would Dark Angels get the most powerful Armour of Contempt in the game? Especially with Deathwing Knights that are always now minus 1 to wound as well. As a Dark Angels fan, it's intentional.
Yeah, I believe... I agree with Jonathan. I'm with Jonathan on this one. Like, I wanted to be this version because it claps. But...
Let me do something. Hang on.
What's this?
No, go on. You keep talking.
Yeah, so I wanted to be this one, but I think, like I've said 3 times, is that it stays the same with so all Armour Contempts are printed identical, so that if they make a change in the future to the wording in the data slate, then they're all affected. Because then, if they did this one as the same wording as that, and they decided to change it in the future, then they'd have to go, all the Armour Contempts in all the books are now this, and the one on this one PDF is now this.
I'm trying to find something... I think
it's just a continuity thing.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you're completely wrong, to be fair. It's just done in a very bad way that could cause issues and problems. So, my Warhammer app has updated. Okay. Yeah. So if I go into the reference section in my Warhammer app, and I go to Dark Angels, and I go to Codex Supplement Dark Angels, and this is now called the Wrath of the Rock, right? I go to Stratagems, and I go to Armour of Contempt, right? And I read the Armour of Contempt in the app. So I've held off doing this until now, okay? Effect. We'll go straight to the effect until the attacking unit has finished making its attacks.
Yeah.
So why have they put a different one on there to here?
Because that's the same as how every Armour of Contempt is printed everywhere. And this is for them, this is a one-touch update.
Yeah, but what I don't understand is, this is digital only. There is no reason...
Yeah, but they still have to pay someone to go and have to change this and update it.
What if it's on the app?
Yeah, but the app won't be linked to the Google Doc, will it?
But this is fucking stupid, by the way. The fact that they print a different version on the website... I just think
you're being really pedantic.
No, I'm not being pedantic. How can you release a new set of rules for PDF download so people can use them that has a version of the rules in it, and on the same day that the app updates, you put a different version in the app for something that is digital only, that has been written since the rules change? This is... The detachment's very, very good. The new detachments in general are quite good. We should praise Games Workshop for doing a good job there. This is the one thing where they've been fucking stupid. Because this is digital only printed. To change that effect, I mean, again, we talk about copy and paste. It exists because it's on the app. Yeah. It already exists in the new version.
But the thing is that they have to then it then becomes Games Workshop then have to not employ someone, but it becomes somebody's job, an additional piece of their work, where they then have to update all the PDFs, all of the folders everywhere. Like they have, someone has to keep on top of it. Whereas if they have anything outside of the app has the exact same wording, so that
how is that worse than printing rules that are wrong compared to the app? How is that? How is having someone keeping on top of the PDFs that they're producing as a rule system?
But then, like, they're all like, even the Emperor's Children has the same stuff in it. The Emperor's Children Codex has that version of Armor of Contempt in it.
It's just fucking stupid.
I think you're probably making a mountain out of a molehill.
No, it's just fucking stupid. There's just no excuse for it. Like like a lot of people. I saw a lot of people last night in the stream and didn't say anything then, get excited about the fact that it's old Armor of Contempt, and it's not. And it's 2 minutes to get this correct. Yeah, but if you want to change it at a later date,
someone has to go and change it.
It's not difficult though. But changing a PDF is not hard.
Yeah, but I think this is a case of.
And you say some will be missed. We're talking like they haven't got a master folder that tells them what everything's got in it.
I know, but I think they're also like this is a manager who's managing people's workloads, right? So this is like an internal office thing where they go, to make our lives easier, everyone's wording is exactly the same, and then the FAQ then overrules that because the data slate always overrules it. But if they decide to change what says on the data slate, they then basically all the other Armor of Contempt are correct and right. So it means that person doesn't have to spend 5, 10, 20 minutes of their time going through and correcting Armor of Contempt written 3 or 4 different ways in different places. I think this is just time efficiency.
But it should just be written the same everywhere. Then you don't have a problem.
Yeah, but the thing is though, it won't be they can't change how the codexes are printed. So Armor of Contempt in the Dark Angels book and Armor of Contempt in the Space Marine Codex are all written like that.
Yeah.
So they're all the same.
I also like the fact that, so I think it's, Des says, the app and balance data slate for tournament play, the Codex PS for casual, pretending like everyone who plays casual doesn't also just use a balanced data slate because it makes their armies more balanced. And that's the problem. We've continuously tried to differentiate between casual play and balanced data slate play, and you don't have to use and I've said this myself, you don't have to use balanced data slate. The truth of the matter is everybody does, because it gives you the most balanced version of the game, which means you're likely to have the most amount of fun. Because if you played armies pre-balanced data slate, then you're probably, some of you are going to have a really fucking easy time, and some of you are going to have a really bad time. So it's just lazy. If this is a fresh printed document, just put the new version on. In fact, there's no reason why any PDF that doesn't have Armor of Contempt on the website can't just have the new version. It's just laziness. That being said, Armor of Contempt to this detachment with -1 to wound is fucking great. And then you add it to Deathwing Knights who are -1 damage, they're fucking insanely durable.
Oh,
they're so tough.
Bonkers. I would argue that now they're more resilient. Like, as an army, Dark Angels do Custodes better than Custodes.
Yeah,
and
they do.
And my worry, I only have one worry about this detachment, right, is that potentially it's only going to be fun for the Dark Angel player. The Dark Angel player is going to have a fucking way. I don't know if
it's that much of a feels bad. I think the only real feels bad starts to come with Deathwing Knights.
I don't think it's feel bad. I think it might become frustrating.
I still think that predominantly is for Deathwing Knights. 4 wounds, -1 damage. They'll become quite frustrating, and I think that in this attachment they're borderline obnoxious. But then they're also they suffer from they at least have the benefit comparatively with say Wolfguard Terminators, where at least they're 250 points for 5, not 170.
Terminators. The fact they didn't go up to 200 points.
Well, interestingly, if you look at the Moonstorm Field Manual from yesterday, which we couldn't tell people before, they've dropped from Codex points to the 170 they are now. They sort of decreased by 10 points.
They're cheaper than Chaos Terminators.
I know.
And they're just flat better.
They saw a decrease of 10 points from Codex points to now. So they actually the rules team looked at Wolfguard Terminators and went, they need to be cheaper.
The fact that Logan didn't go up. Like, the fact that none of the characters went up in the Space Wolves book is criminal as well. Logan is 110 points. he's cheaper than Lord Solar, and he's only 10 points more than fucking Field Marshal Dreer.
We did talk about Field Marshal Dreer last night being
It's
not being changed.
criminal.
I do not. Wolfguard Terminator is a rank. Are you crazy, Gary? Have you been drinking? Have you been day drinking, sir?
So you need to compare them to all other Terminators in the game. Yeah, but their power swords are strength 6 minus 2 2.
5 minus 2 2.
Yeah, but right.
It's like 5 minus 2 2, mate.
I would.
Well, that's not true though, is it? Because one of them has a strength 7 minus 2, 3 damage dev wounds axe.
They make possessed look shite.
And their damage output might not be the most impressive thing in the world ever, but they're also 4 wound, -1 to wound Terminators. They're fucking great.
They're better than normal. They're better than Chaos Terminators because they're -2 across the board, and there's not like, oh, I've got 3 of this weapon, 1 of this weapon, 1 of this weapon, 1 of this weapon. They're all different profiles, they're all different strengths, they're all different damages. With them, they're just all damage 2, but they're 4 wounds and -1. Chaos Space Marine Terminators are 3 wounds, toughness 5, with no minuses to wound.
Yeah, no. You'd have to convince me now. I think that's solid.
I think that is a 200-point unit, right?
Yeah, probably.
If Deathwing Knights are only 1 strength higher, but -1 damage, and 250 points, like you're literally 75 points cheaper.
But I'd also take I would also personally take -1 damage over -1 to wound every day of the week. Like -1 damage is insane on a 4 wound model. Yeah, it's very, very good.
But is it 70 points? Is it 70 points? Like
no, and this is where 200 points. I'm not entirely against that because 10 points per model for -1 damage is probably okay.
Yeah,
like it's probably reasonable, right? So I think Wolfguard Terminators are solid. I'm a person who's fully in there. They're a really good unit, and I think at 170 to 200 points, they're definitely takeable. And there's delivery mechanisms for both Logan and fucking Arjak, who are also mental good. Anyone who says Wolfguard Terminators are bad, especially at 170, I probably disregard their Warhammer opinions.
If I was doing Space Wars, I'd have 15 immediately.
Yeah. And one unit can't even be led, but they're still solid.
I don't give a shit, I just have them.
Yeah, they're still solid, exactly.
So it's like, Jarwin says, Gazos is pointing the Space Wolves to sell models. It's crap. That is not true. Because Fulgrim exists. He is dog shit and he is way too many points.
Finally, we do have the Leonine Aggression, or Leonine Aggression.
Or Leonin.
Leonine.
Leonin? Depends where you're from, innit?
Yeah, we have Aggression for 1 CP. End of your opponent's charge phase, 1 Adeptus Astartes unit from your army within 3 inches of 1 or more enemy units, or 1 Deathwing unit from your army within 6 inches of 1 or more enemy units. This is mad for a CP. Your unit now declares a charge that only targets 1 or more of those enemy units, and you resolve that charge. This isn't heroic intervention, because the enemy units in question don't have to have charged themselves, right? Restrictions. Note that even if the unit charge is successful, your unit so it doesn't get fights first. It doesn't get the charge bonus of fights first.
But it'll still get Lance.
For 1 CP, that is fucking insanely good.
It's so good.
It's really good.
Yeah. Because it basically means you heroically intervene twice.
Your opponent cannot step onto an objective 6 inches away from your Deathwing Terminators and be like, I take this objective off of you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not going to fight you because you'll beat me. I'm just going to stand there. And you go, 1 CP, you are going to fight me.
Yeah. Yeah. This is happening.
Yeah.
This is yeah. And the thing is like Blade Guard, which are 80 points now.
Yeah.
They get the Deathwing key. So what you can do, is you take a fucking Judica in a unit of 6 Blade Guard, or a Judica in a unit of 3 Blade Guard. You can just chill on the objective in no man's land behind a wall. Yeah. You'd be like, come at me, bro, because I'm going to charge you when you come near me, and I will fight first.
Yeah, I don't get my charge bonus, but I have a Judica, so we're good.
Yeah, and it's just, which means I fight before all of you. Right, so it means that like people are like, oh, you've got 4 models on there, OC1. Just gonna going to toe in and take that objective off you. And you're like, nope.
Yeah, Buans makes a good point as well. It doesn't even need the fights first. If the enemy unit didn't charge, no one has fights first. So Dark Angel's unit fights first because your opponent's turn. It's true. He's right. He's
right.
not wrong.
Yeah.
Banging. But just put the Judica in the unit anyway. Because you've got fights first. So if you end up charging, what's hilarious is, let's say that enemy unit is an enemy unit with a Judica in it, and you've got a Judica in yours. Well, it's both people have got fights first, but it's your opponent's turn. So guess what, Joe? You get to go first.
Yeah.
It's fucking mad. It's so good. So that is an insanely good stratagem. Also, not forgetting, it says Adeptus Astartes unit from your army. You can do it with the Lion.
You can do it with a Rhino.
Yeah.
So,
Tom's stratagem.
Yeah. This one was written for Tom. Yeah, you could do it with the Lion. That's horrible.
The Lion doesn't have Deathwing, though, so you have to be within 3 inches of the Lion.
That's fine.
But if you stick him in the middle of the objective...
Yeah, you can do it.
If you stick him in the middle of the objective, his base is bigger than 40 mil, so the only way they're towing on is by being within 3 inches.
Brutalis can do it.
Brutalis can do it, Joe, yeah. Right, cool. There we go. So that is the Dark Angels detachment. I honestly believe that this detachment specifically could finally, for Dark Angels players at least, challenge Gladius.
So I think for Dark Angels players that play Dark Angels as Dark Angels, this is the best attachment they have, right? If you're a Dark Angels player that just runs Space Marines with a unit like maybe a unit of Deathwing Knights, but then takes all the same stuff that Paddy takes in his Blood Angels and still calls it Blood Angels, but it's not really anymore. It's just all vehicles. I think they probably still take like all. But I think if you're running Dark Angels, the Lion, Inner Circle Companions, Deathwing Knights, Blade Guard, Hell Blasters, this is the future of Dark Angels. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I think this is I actually think the Redemptor Dreadnought's got a really strong place in this list as well.
I still think there are some units that still are good in this.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you think about Lion's Will for +1 OC, that's Adeptus Astartes unit. If you think about the other one on the top right, which is called Tactical Mastery, which is Advanced Shoot and Charge, that's Adeptus Astartes unit. If you think about shooting, Adeptus Astartes infantry unit. Armor of Contempt is solid for everything. So Advance and Shoot is great on a Vindicator. So you still use vehicles in this army, but the Vindicator then doesn't get the -1 to wound because it's not an infantry or mounted unit.
Yeah.
If you're running generic Space Marine stuff, Blade Guard, Aggressors, Eradicators, actually they're still pretty solid in this. It's just you do want a sprinkling of Deathwing units in here as well.
Yeah.
Some of those extra buffs.
I wrote a list which was triple Redemptor, triple Deathwing Knights. All -1 to wound. All very punchy. All the lols.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think you have to change the way you play. Buan says Deathwing Knights will really miss fallback and do everything from Gladius, which is a fact, they will. But what you get is still, like, the fact that you get that minus, depending on what the Deathwing Knights have charged, the fact that you've got that -1 to wound might mean that you worry less about fallback in charge because you just stand there and take it and then fight anyway. Not necessarily the best answer, I know, but I think this honestly gives Dark Angels players, like you say, Joe, who are mostly playing Dark Angels units, a real decision to make. Yeah. And I don't think it's obvious. I don't think it is this one over Gladius, and I don't think it's Gladius over this one. I think it's a decision.
I think this definitely puts, because obviously historically, Deathwing have always been the best Terminators in the game.
Yeah.
Because they are the Terminator army.
Yeah.
And I think this detachment just reinforces. This to me is what the Deathwing detachment. It's kind of like, so this is like what I've seen from these kind of Grotma style detachments is basically when they did the original codexes and the supplements, they've tried to write narrative lists for certain things. I didn't really hit the mark. This is their way to just go at it again.
Yeah,
with
it's
a fresh
fixing
mind.
Those problems.
So there was a Deathwing detachment, and it was meh. It was okay, very situational, not great. This is the Deathwing detachment.
Yeah.
Now this is the best mixed tri-wing detachment. I think if you're going Green Wing, Raven Wing, Deathwing, this is the best version of that.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. But that being said, if you are going green wing, so all 3 different, you still get solid play out of Gladius. You do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Gladius is still very, very
but
good.
What I like about this is because I've started running infiltrators in my armies. Like, even infiltrators on your home objectives are now just harder to kill and deal with.
Yeah. The army-wide -1 to wound on infantry is solid. It just is solid. And I think that this is almost... It feels a little bit like this is a slight encouragement away from vehicles as well. I think we may have seen too many vehicles in 10th.
It's this, like, 10th edition is the Terminator edition.
Nick says, what's the strat for taking down Deathwing Knights now? Just run away from them. Or you need to hit them with something that has a bucket shit ton of 1 damage.
Yeah.
And just hope. Because one damage mutes their thing that makes them so expensive.
High AP... You want AP3, 1 damage. That's the zone you want to be in.
Yeah.
Because
Warp Talons, fuck them actually. Well, they don't fuck them, but
they got AP3. But
AP3, 1 damage, twin linked.
Yeah,
that's actually really good.
Yeah. Because damage 2 is the same as damage 1, which means and effectively in this versus Deathwing Knights, damage 4 is the same as damage 3 because you still need 2 to go through to kill them. Weirdly, I think Tau are very good at dealing with Deathwing Knights. They'll struggle a bit harder now because of the -1.
You know what I think? We'll love shooting Deathwing Knights. You'll like this one, Jay.
What?
Sternguard.
Oh yeah, Sternguard. Well, the thing is though, right? Sternguard aren't efficient the first time they shoot at them because you snap your little glow stick watcher in the dark, shake it. Get your feel no
because
pain.
the feel no pain event, yeah.
Like, you get 1 turn of feel no pain, and then the next turn the Sternguard shoot them and kill them.
Yeah, you have to fish out that feel no pain, don't you?
Yeah.
To be fair,
unless you're like Joe and you run chaplains.
Rubber Clock says 10th is the Terminator edition, unless you play Emperor's Children.
Yeah,
Terminators have in fact just kind of got good everywhere, haven't they? Really?
Yeah, unless you're Emperor's Children. Because So I said to Liam before we went on, like, I've had some time away from Chaos Space Marines. I've gone and played Tyranids, and I've gone to the Dark Angels, and that. I mean, I enjoy playing Chaos Space Marines as my fun army, and I think this new detachment's really helped. It's going to help that a lot more.
Yeah, I think
because
so.
I feel like the new Chaos detachment allows me to play Chaos Space Marines, and they'll feel like how they should play. I think. With the +1 AP. I think I like it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah, and then the Lion has the feel no pain aura still too.
He
so
does.
someone turns over Sternguard, he's like...
Yeah, I mean, that means he doesn't get his uppy downy aura or his reroll 1s to hit and wound aura.
But you just not kill it. Thing is though, Deathwing Knights still hit on 2s as well.
I know, it's mad. Right, so thankfully there's not been tons and tons of super chats, so we can jump into chat right now and get through it. You people have been amazing. I have just noticed we've gone over 100 members for the Liam and Joe show, so thank you so much, you beautiful human beings.
Does that mean I get a Hierophant?
Nope. Ash, thank you for the $2. Squads of Gene Stealers can now be back ×8 #JoeSC.
Gene Stealer cult? What do you mean, Ash?
What he means is, right, what this super chat says, and there's another one he's done earlier which does the same thing, is I'm too stingy to super chat more than $1.99, so I'm going to shorthand everything and not give enough detail, so you don't have a clue what I'm talking about, and you can't really respond to my super chat. So we won't. Thank you, Cooney, for the 5 gifted memberships.
Ash, can you tell me what the fuck you're talking about? Because that makes 0 sense to me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Cooney. I hope that... I hope that your children next weekend, because it's Father's Day next weekend, isn't it?
15th, yeah.
Yeah, next weekend your children pay for you to have a wonderful pub lunch and a wonderful takeaway dinner, but don't really ask for any of your time. So you can just do whatever you want. They just pay to feed you all day, but nice food.
Yeah, that's good. I like that one. Jonathan says, Deathwing are still 80 points more than Wolfguard. Are they that much better? No, but yes. And what I mean by that is Deathwing Knights, I think, are fairly costed at 250, genuinely.
Yeah.
Wolfguard Terminators are too cheap.
I think the Wolfguard should be 200 points. Because you've got to think, like, Deathwing Knights, if you give them... So to be fair, Deathwing Knights hit on 2s, if you have the maces. You've got 4 attacks, right?
4 attacks, strength 5, -2, 2
so
damage.
the maces hit on 2s at strength 6, -2, 2, anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4+.
So we hit on 3s.
Yeah.
We have 4 attacks, we hit on 3s. We don't have the anti-vehicle or the anti-monster. And we have strength 5.
I just think they're a bit... but the 4 wounds and -1 to wound, I think... Being cheaper than Chaos Space Marine Terminators.
The thing that makes the Wolfguard Terminators funny is the fact they dropped them by 10 points. Like they could have just stayed at 180, that would have been fine.
How many points is a normal unit of Terminators?
170 now as well, I think.
If I just type in Terminators, is that going to just... So we just Terminator unit.
Well, I have to wait for you because there's a few more hopes coming up, Joe.
Yeah, Terminator Squad. Boom. Unit composition, 170. So a unit of normal Terminators, which admittedly gets +1 to hit versus the Oath target, is the same points as yours, but they all have power fists, so they're stronger, and they hit on 2s, but they're -1 wound, and they don't have -1 to be wounded.
Yeah, so the damage output's arguably better.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the Wolfguard aren't that undercosted, but I think they're...
I suppose the Terminator Assault Squad is so here's a good comparison. The Terminator Assault Squad is 180 points. It has 4 wounds, but it only has 3 attacks with thunder hammers.
So damage 3 instead of 2.
Higher
strength.
Damage 2. Oh,
damage 2.
You're stuck in the past, Liam.
Thunderhammer's damage 2 still. Ugh.
Yeah, they were damage 3
Okay,
in
carry
the
on.
Golden Age of 9th edition.
What's the strength of them?
So they're strength 8, -2, 2 damage, dev wounds, but they've only got 3 attacks that hit on 4s.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, they should hit on 3s, let's be honest. Right. But they're 4 wounds because they've got a storm shield, but they're not -1 to wound.
What's
and they're
their
10
ability?
points more. Their ability is if they charge you, take a battle shot test. Yeah. So they don't hit as good, but they hit harder. They've got the same wounds, but they're not -1 to wound.
But
And
they
they're
will
10
get the
points
+1 to hit from Oath target.
No, they don't get that.
Why not?
Only normal Terminators get that.
Oh, is that their ability?
Because the new ones have got new models. These are old models,
okay.
so they don't buy them. So
Meh, yeah, okay.
I think Wolfguard Terminators could probably sit comfortably at 180, 185.
I still think I would, if they were the exact same price as Assault Terminators, I'm still taking Wolfguard, I think, for the most part.
Oh, 100%.
I'm still taking the -1 to... I'm still taking the -1 to wound and the extra attacks.
190. I think once you get to 200, you're probably going, maybe I'm taking them as a bit of a luxury. I think 190, 185 is the sweet spot.
Gary says, and can take an enhancement. Incorrect. Assault Terminators can't take an enhancement. A character attached to them, which increases their points by 100, can take an enhancement. Which then means you're not comparing apples to apples anyway, because you're talking about a 300-point unit rather than a 180-point unit.
Yeah, I think 180, 185 is a good place for Wolfguard.
If Wolfguard Terminators were 190, I'd still take them. Honestly, I think they're very good.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can put Logan or Arjak in, I know it's dice rolling. I'm aware it's dice rolling, but look at Thursday when a Demon Prince on foot and Lucius charged Arjak and 5 Wolfguard Terminators. I think I lost 1 or 2, and then they turned around and flattened both of them. They then bimbled round the corner, and another winged Demon Prince charged them, and they flattened that as well. They're just fucking exceptional. I don't think that would have been the same, because it was the -1 to wound that did so much work there. That wouldn't be the same with Assault Terminators, because at the point in which your Demon Prince and Lucius has finished fighting, most of them are then dead.
Yeah.
They just are. So, Nightmare, thank you for 10 gifted memberships.
I hope, Nightmare, that they open a shop that sells ice cream and puddings within like a 5-minute walk of your house, like Sprinkles. Sprinkles, yeah. The one in Salisbury got closed down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never went, but I always dreamed.
Gary's come back with, but you're always taking Wolfguard with Logan. Yeah, but we're not taking Wolfguard with Logan because Logan make Wolfguard better.
Yeah, we're just talking about
If you just flat compare, as we've been doing, if you just flat compare Wolfguard Terminators to standard Terminators or Assault Terminators, I would take Wolfguard Terminators.
Yeah.
You take Logan because Logan's Logan. You don't take him because he makes Wolfguard better.
But in fairness, Deathwing Knights absolutely fuck Space Wolf Terminators.
Oh yeah, I don't want that fight.
Yeah, Space Wolf Terminator's like, no thank you.
No, run away.
Yeah. Even with Logan's like,
Logan. So Logan's 3 damage. So he just needs 2 to go through to kill one. But then you're now -1 a wound in that detachment as well. It becomes a problem for Logan.
Which Logan's wounding them on 4s then. What strength's Logan?
10, 12? No, 8.
So he's wounding on 4s.
Yeah, be wounding on 4s. Oh, he doesn't want that fight check, trust me.
Yeah. Knights are just like clicking their knuckles, like, come on!
I think about the type of lists I was running with my Space Wolves I was having lots of fun with, and I think about 10 Deathwing Knights in that detachment. I'm like, how do I deal with that?
Yeah.
That's going to be a bit of a problem.
Is that Randy from South Park? It's like I'm not out yet.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's solid.
Yeah.
Harborn, thank you for. By the way, Gary, just for reference, I do love you. I like a healthy debate. I hope that's how you're taking it. I'm not calling you an idiot like Ash. Thank you, Harborn, for 5 gifted memberships.
I hope, Harborn, that somebody franchises a Greg's next door to you.
Oh, strong.
Yeah.
I haven't had a Greg's for a very long time.
Neither have I, actually.
Kat says, my World Eaters Terminators with 7-inch movement will be using it in the opposite direction.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Greg's is solid. Thank you. That Hugh G. Rection, thank you for the 1 gifted membership. I like that.
I like you, Ash.
I love Ash. He knows I love him. If I thought he was taking it personally, I wouldn't throw it at him so commonly on stream.
Yeah.
If he messaged me and was like, I'm actually getting a bit upset by it, I'd probably laugh. I might back off a bit.
You are very cruel.
I probably wouldn't, actually. I know what you did last roll. Thank you for the 1 gifted. Evan, thank you for the 1 gifted. You're amazing. Limey Panda, thank you for the $2. I said Joe wrote this, but I missed the Scout Relic. That was really early. One. That must be the Chaos one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Scout one's got a relic that gives you Scout. Because it's good.
Why would that make a difference to whether Joe wrote it or not, Mr. the Limey Panda?
Is it because I really like Infiltrate? I mean, Scout is bloody
solid, yeah.
Because obviously it gives his unit Scout. So you can take... So you can take a Chaos Lord, a Master's Executions, and a unit of 10 Chosen in a Rhino, and then scout the Rhino.
Mm-hmm. Solid.
Yeah, that's a fun bus.
It is a fun bus. It's good. I like it.
Because one character can have the Scout, and the other one can have the Lance or the Psychic keyword.
Yeah. I'm into it. I like it.
Just go in and mess stuff up.
Thank you, Danny, for the 2 quids. I don't fully understand it, and I think even at the time I wouldn't have fully understood it.
Alex one. Alex Gorley gifted 5 memberships.
No, it's underneath it, mate, for me.
Oh, maybe they came at the same time.
Dave, thank you for the poo.
Thank you.
And then Alex Gorley, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
I hope, Alex, that you get 6 boxes of the new Ravena Kill Team.
Oh, he does want it. He does want it.
He's got a big art on for him.
Thank you, Nick, for the 2. Disco Raveners look well fun to paint, at least. I don't know how I feel about them. I don't love them, but it might. But I think it's the paint job.
I think it's the color scheme because they've chosen that as the Hive Fleet color for this kit for like the Hive that's attacking this big fucking cannon.
I mean, the colour scheme looks apt for this month, but I don't love it. Ash, thank you. Thank you for the 2. Kill Team mentioned equals super chat. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. See, it was nice then. You see?
I think in any other colour, it'll be fine. I think you probably go one big unit of 5, like, so the hyper adapted and normal Raveners, and then either and then 1 unit of 5 of each.
Yeah.
Because 3 units of 10 is a large points investment, and they do die quick if they get caught out.
I think if you painted them in a normal high fleet colour with another unit of 5 as one big unit, I think they look cool as shit.
Yeah.
They do look like they'd be fun to paint, but I'm not good at painting like big monsters and stuff like that. I don't think I'd do a good job of them. I've tried painting Tyranids before. I like super clean, super crisp, edge highlight, all that kind of stuff. Ironically, I'm probably quite set up to paint power armor. I've never really loved painting power armor.
If I didn't have Tyranids and I was starting afresh, I would do the Leviathan scheme that Fletcher did. Because that Leviathan scheme
he's just fucking insane
bonkers.
as well. Alex, thank you for the $5. The NID
good.
detachment has me so hyped. Rules are cool. Enhancements are solid. I am erect.
I think out of the 3, in terms of strength, I think it's the second, but I would rate it as the best out of the 3 in terms of how much effort went into the narrative and the cohesion between the stratagems and the army rule.
Agree.
And the enhancements. It all just works really nice together.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just perfect.
Yep, agree. Yeah, it's a very good detachment. I also think, I don't entirely disagree with Joe, that the Dark Angels detachment could produce some undesirable moments where your opponent finds it really tedious to kill your Deathwing Knights or borderline obnoxious or maybe a little bit unfun. The Tyranid one I don't think necessarily creates the same moments for the same reasons. I think it's just fun and exciting.
The units you're using for the Tyranid one aren't obnoxious.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think once you catch the units that are in this detachment, they will die. Whereas once you catch a unit of Deathwing Knights, they're not it's... Yeah.
Mikey says, how has Fletcher not left tactics and gone to siege? Didn't he start at siege and go
He
to
started
tactics?
at siege and then realised that siege didn't pay him very well and Lawrence was going to pay him more money.
Yeah.
And every penny that Lawrence has spent on Fletcher is a worthwhile investment.
In short, Mikey, he went to Lawrence because he gets paid more.
Yeah, and I think a better treatment, you know.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know what their working environment's like.
Yeah.
So.
Catching a unit of Raveners, if you get a charge and fight first, you're probably going to kill them because they've got no real defensive stats. 3 wounds, toughness 5, 4 up save. The 5 up will struggle, but if you're low strength, but if you're wounding on 3s with a good AP and 2 damage, you're just cleaving this unit down. Whereas if you chase down a unit of Deathwing Knights, you'll be like,
yeah,
it's like chasing down. It's like chasing down a cat and then it claws your eyes out. You know?
Lawrence uses less whip.
Yeah.
Dave says, who's Fletcher, VT or TTT? Tabletop Tactics, we wouldn't be mentioning it otherwise, would we? Because, Arkador, thank you for the 1 gifted. Cray, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Cray. I hope that you're given a lifetime supply of McVitie's Gold Bar Digestives.
Oh, I love a gold bar. Also, Craig, thank you for the 2,000 Japanese yen. Trigons are one of the sexiest models Games Workshop has ever made. How did they find ways to keep taking my money? The new detachment is a big win for me in fun and flavour. Screamer Killer coming out of a tunnel to charge sounds fun. It's banging.
Screamer Killer is actually quite good in this detachment because getting the Screamer Killer to your opponent is a problem because it's got, on paper, a very good defensive profile, but in reality is not a good defensive profile.
Yeah.
Because toughness 9, 10 wounds of a 2-up save is that's quite good. But there's so much stuff that could just one.
I feel like it should be really good.
Yeah.
It should be.
But
it's just not.
The stuff just goes dead.
Yeah.
Whereas now it can jump out of a hole 6 inches away from you, charge you with a reroll, and then just mess you up.
Yeah.
Because it's still strength 10 minus 2.
And once it's done that,
3.
It still then has the same durability issues, but at least you got to use it first.
Yeah. And if you hurt it and don't kill it, it can regen. And if it wants to, it can just do the battle droid thing in Star Wars, roll into a ball and go into the hole.
Yeah.
And then just pop up somewhere else.
I'm a fan of it. I like it.
Yeah.
Tank, thank you for the $2. Dark Ages 1 allows Tom to heroic a Rhino. I know, finally he can. Not quite heroic, but he can at last, yeah. Leaks, thank you for the $5. I've got my local gaming store to pop the Kill Team box aside for me when it releases. After, I'll own 2 Tyranid units. In my head, that's nearly an army. Danger, danger. At that point, you're committed, mate.
Yeah.
You might as well go for it.
Yeah. Because you got terrain as well then.
You might as well just buy yourself a Trigon now and start prepping.
Yeah, you need an excuse to use the terrain in the box. So
yeah, exactly. So go for it. Exclamation mark element. Ash, thank you for the $2. Deathwing Assault is an exact copy and paste from ICTF. What's ICTF?
Inner Circle Task Force. I mean, he's not wrong. It is correct. So one of the like Deathwing Assault is just something that they just really, really like putting into Dark Angels detachments.
Which one was the Deathwing Assault part?
It's the one where you get Deep Strike turn 1.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
David, have you not been paying attention for the last year? I feel like he's baiting, or he's been in hibernation for a year. M Hughes, thank you for the M Hughes 180. Thank you for the $10. Deathwing Assault and Lion's Return to Reserves rule means both can deep strike turn 1 if he starts on the board. Reference chapter approved tournament companion doc page 2 reserve restrictions. Yep.
Yeah, that's not a great time for your opponent, is it? Like when you thought you were safe.
Yeah. Although at least these guys have to drop in 9 inches away.
I wish it was more narrative. Like if there are trees on the table, he can walk from forest to forest like wood elves. But in this one, he's like pew pew pew,
like old Silver F. But I mean, at least if they do that, at least they're 9 inches away. They have to make a 9-inch charge. Yeah. It's not quite as bad as say Death Shroud.
Yeah, they just turn up 6 inches away from you and then charge you.
Yeah,
and like.
Our problem is that we're really slow, apart from we can just drop 6 inches away.
So this is, I think we're now looking at because everyone, the return of the humble infiltrator. Because all Space Marine players just ditched them off. Because they were super popular. Everyone was taking 2 units, or at least 1 unit in every army. And then they ditched them off because Games Workshop released the new Scouts. And Scouts are cheaper and could redeploy. So they could do the mission better.
Yeah.
Because they could be like, scoring all your points. Whereas now, loads of people can deep strike 6 inches away and charge. And now you can do it with potentially like 1,500 points of Tyranid.
I feel like we see this quite a lot. I feel like what happens quite a lot is they start ramping things up and more and more mental, because they're like, edition changes in a year.
Yeah.
Go for it. Have fun.
Yeah. But
and then we get to a point where we could do all this bonkers shit. And they're like, 11th edition.
But like I said, the Tyranid detachment does nothing to help defensive. There's no 5-up feel no pain strat. There's no feel no pains in the Tyranid army.
But you can fuck off down tunnels and stuff.
This is like the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah.
You know?
But you've got a lot of movement shenanigans. You have to use those movement shenanigans to protect yourself.
This army is a secondary scoring machine.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Especially with Raveners as well. So, Will, thank you for the $20. We've been getting Codex pumped out some great example Death Guard, but Gimps were lackluster. Do you prefer a slower rate and consistency, or keep up the pace and hopefully get a longer tail where everyone has a Codex before a new edition? It's a real hard one to answer. So personally, I think the first year the releases were too slow, because I don't want to be in a situation where we drop a codex and 3 months later we have a whole new edition, because whoever that codex is, I feel very sorry for them. On the flip side, in this edition, if the first year had have been a release rate that the current release rate is, we'd have had a lot of shit. I think we're seeing a lot of things that are as a result of the Warhammer 40k rules team having a bit of a shake-up and having a new manager be brought in. And I think we're seeing some of that come to the fore, and we're seeing a lot better consistency. Whenever they bring in a new faction to the game, i.e. Emperor's Children, they sit normally outside of the normal codex updating for new editions. I've seen this because I've been a playtester. They sit outside, so they're kind of written and developed at a different time. So it is possible that all of the rules we're seeing recently, Death Guard, Thousand Suns, World Eaters, Space Wolves, they're kind of influenced by this new rules writer, potentially. I'm not saying definitely. And it's also possible, or rules manager, I should say. It's also possible that the Emperor's Children one was developed over a year ago by the old team, and that might be why it sort of sits as an anomaly.
I think it possibly was because obviously the lead time on developing the models and the rules, as a whole new faction, that would have all been done potentially even at the start of the edition.
I'd rather a faster release rate because I feel sorry for those people that are Drakari players or Votan players who are still sat there going, what about us? Yeah. What the fuck's happening? So I feel sorry for those individuals, and that's why I think I'd prefer a faster rate. But if that was at the detriment for sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit, I don't think that's then a fair trade-off. I still think that they should be able to, as a multi-billion-pound company whose primary products are selling models and rules to you, they should be able to at least have a relatively consistent base of codexes that aren't too dissimilar from each other in terms of power level.
Yeah,
and I think we sometimes, as players and as consumers of the product, I often think we can be too soft on them and be like, oh yeah, but they're chucking rules out too fast. I'm like, I don't care. You're making billions. Do a good job.
Yeah.
Do a good job. Luce and I had this conversation yesterday. I was sat at home yesterday for an hour playing Battlefield 1, talking to her about the fact that it's a 9-year-old game. And I think we had this conversation on Tuesday. And I was like, when did we get to a place in the world where we accept AAA games coming out at £70 plus that don't work properly? We just accept mediocre and keep paying for it. Yeah. And I think if Games Workshop, they've recorded more record profits, I'm pleased to see they've distributed some of that wealth amongst the staff again and offered them another bonus. I think that's good, and fair play Games Workshop for doing that. But we're paying more than we've ever paid before for the product. We're having products fired at us at a faster rate than ever before. You look at things like limited edition codexes and collector's edition codexes, and they're making more and more money, and I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that if what we're getting is good product in return. If you look at the modelling kits, for the most part, they are almost always great products. There is a few exceptions, Stiltman, T-shirt launchers, etc. But for the most part, when you buy a plastic Games Workshop kit, you're buying a good premium quality kit.
Yeah.
You just are.
I suppose the benefit, though, to the computer games, the benefit to tabletop games over computer games, right, is in a computer game, you spend anywhere between £50 and £100 on a game. It's released shite. You have to wait for updates. It's dead in 3 years because they're working on the next one. Or if it's Call of Duty, you don't even get a year's use out of it, right?
Yep, I agree.
As I actually say, when you buy the main Call of Duty game, I would argue you probably get maybe a week or two's worth of gameplay out of that, and then basically you play Warzone, which is free. You're just getting a way of speeding up your upgrades for the game. Whereas Warhammer, if I still owned my Tyranid army that I bought in 6th edition, right, the rules would have changed, but I would have got the value out of my models.
Oh, guaranteed.
Continuously.
Yeah, guaranteed. For the most part.
And I think as gamers, we just kind of accept that editions change, rules change, things get good, stuff gets bad. But stuff becoming bad basically means that they want something else to be good, which means you have to buy that new thing.
I'm less upset when rules are good or bad based on them wanting to sell product. And I don't like it, but I accept the fact they're trying to make money. I'm less upset by that than when rules look like they're bad because of incompetence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But I also think...
And I think that the biggest indicator of that is points. So points are the ones that are really going to sell models, if we're honest, on the whole.
Yeah.
And then you could bring out a data sheet with some average to good rules. And if you want to sell models, here's what you do. You bring them out with good rules. You bring everything out with good rules. The ones you want to sell, you make the points really cheap. And the ones you're not bothered about selling, you make the points more expensive.
I would say, though, right, is that the more I've learned about how Games Workshop operates from different people, I would be less inclined to blame the teams. I would argue it's the time constraints that are being forced on them by people above to force it out as quickly as possible. So, the teams just aren't getting the time to check it and
watch the Peachy podcast.
Yeah, like the new person that's come in that's tried to fix it like he's doing an incredible job, and obviously the guys who did the job before didn't do a great job because of the amount of time they had. So it's kind of like, we're going to blame these guys for failing, but like the people upstairs, like they never look at themselves. Like, did we give?
Well,
So my hope is this new guy's coming in. He's trying to fix 10th edition, but my hope would be that he's already got an eye on 11th. It's a year away, so the rule book would have already been written, or at least he had a chance to look at it before it went away to print, so they could fix it and sort it out. Because it would have already been printed out and done.
I don't know about printed.
Yeah.
But they'll be I would imagine they'd be very close right now to a final version.
Yeah.
Without doubt.
Like.
I try not to, when I criticise, for the most part, I try not to criticise specific people, unless they're on a screen on MetaWatch being a dickhead. Yeah.
But sometimes you just go, Games Workshop. My worry is that people don't understand, people at home.
So the reason why I say...
when you say Games Workshop, you're pointing at the company, but you're not pointing directly at the whole company.
So when I say Games Workshop, when something's done badly and I say Games Workshop, that's because I don't know where the failure lies.
Yeah.
The failure might be the rules team. It might be. It might be they've done a bad job. The failure might also be that the management of the rules team was bad. They didn't give them enough time or resources.
Yeah.
The failure might be somewhere else up the chain where someone's decided that you're going to get rid of this, etc., etc., etc. I don't know where that failure is, so I can't point a finger at the procurement team or the rules team or the management team. So I'm like, well, I can't pick a specific target. Unfortunately, now you all wear the badge. We'll just have to target the company, and hopefully the person in the position is aware that it's them that's the fault. That's not always the case, but there's not much else we can do about it. So, anyway, thank you, Will, for the $20. I think I would prefer the rate to stay high early on. I think we have to accept the fact as well, because I see a lot of comments in our echo chamber that exists. I see a lot of comments about GW's rules releasing. They should be free. They should all be free from day one. I like the concept of that as a consumer and a player of the game, but from a business perspective, I think we kind of have to accept the fact that's just never going to happen, because that doesn't make them the most money.
Yeah, I think I would prefer the codexes to come out, all the codexes to be out within 18 months of the new edition.
Yeah, right? That's fair.
So a year and a half to get all the codexes out, so that the ones that come last still get a year and a half of playing that codex. Right, so as a tiered player, as a Space Marine player, you've got 3 years of your codex, right?
Yeah.
And now you've got 3 years of playing that one codex, which is consistent, and you know it's going to last out. But you're also getting new detachments. You're getting cool PDFs, right? We don't know when Drakari are coming out. We don't know when Imperial Knights are coming out, and we don't know when Votan are coming out. There's 3 codex still left to go, and we're already into the final year of the edition, right? So say they go, where are we now? We're in June, right? You go 1 July, 1 August, 1 September, right? January is going to be the build-up for 11th edition. Like, whoever comes last has no time to play.
No, exactly.
And I think, and it's just a real feel bad, especially when you got to think that Votan and Drakari are not in a great place rules-wise.
Yeah.
Or balance-wise.
It's a surefire way of pissing off a certain part of your player base, isn't it? Let's be honest. Right, I had to switch because someone's trying to be funny again with stupid fucking accounts. I'm getting really bored of it. Right, Will Stewart, thank you for 20 gifted memberships.
Thank you, Will Stewart.
You fucking hero.
I hope, Will, that... I hope that every time you make spaghetti bolognese, you never get it on your shirt, and everyone says it's the best spaghetti bolognese they've ever had, and any woman that eats it immediately bought to Climax. I fucking love spaghetti bolognese.
Immediately bought to Climax is strong. That's such a stupid argument. Rules can't be free because they need to make money. I work in IT software. I don't make the company money. Nothing I do sells a product, but I show you. What's that got to do with anything that we said about rules can't be free because they need to make money? The fact of the matter is the rules release is spread out over the course of 3 years because multiple people will buy multiple codexes because they'll go, well, Space Rules are available now. Who knows when Votan are coming? And they'll buy. If everything comes out at once, some people will be like, I'm just buying one army. That's it, done.
I missed out Grey Knights and Black Templars. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
But which is even worse, right? That's 5. It's 5.
I'm not saying for one.
minute,
I'm
yeah.
not saying for one moment either. By the way, that the rules team aren't earning their pay. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that for one moment whatsoever. But the company makes a lot of money on codex sales, and they're not going to want to lose the way they're making money on codex sales, because the second a company changes a strategy that then makes them less profit, that then impacts their top line, it impacts their shareholders, and it just fucks the whole fucking.
Things are 40k is their highest seller.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
So they want to spread that throughout the whole year. If they shotgun an entire edition out in 6 months, the next 6 months has to be propped up by its lowest selling.
But we also have to.
games
You also have to realise as well that Games Workshop are a company that for many, 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 many years have made lots of money off of selling rules. So why are they going to stop doing that? Because what they've done is they've proven beyond all reasonable doubt that the community is prepared to pay for their rules.
Yeah.
So why stop doing it?
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
The thing is though, like, historically, tabletop gamers really fucking love rule books.
Yeah.
I love being able to sit on the toilet and write army lists. You know, really fills the time in between TikTok and Facebook Reels. You know,
And the hub.
and the hub. No, it's only bedtime.
Oh, right, okay.
So
Wipe it on the curtain.
yeah, or the dog, or the ball. But what was I saying? Yeah, I like being able to write army lists on an app. Right. I'm like, oh, I've had an idea.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in Tesco car park. Bam, army list. Right.
Oh, really? Just in a random car park?
Or like if I'm doing the shopping,
Okay,
I have an idea. Got to put the fucking get the army list idea down. I love it. Or because I always think about Warhammer all the time. I'm like, oh, what about this unit and that unit? I can check on my phone and I can do it. And that's what I really like the app. People shit on the app, but I think the app's really good.
The app's very good.
So good.
I've got a couple of niggly issues, but let's be honest, compared to where we were 4 years ago, it's fucking
But
exceptional.
at the same time, I've got an L-shaped desk, which I work at, got my computer there, got my painting stuff there. But on my desk, I have all the codexes for my armies. Because it's like a visual reminder and a nice warming thing. Oh, I've got my nice, sexy army books there. But if I have an idea, I go, I won't look at my phone. I'll look at the paper.
I think he often writes rules while squatting in a lay-by.
Yeah, I just like, but there's some. It's more comforting to hold and read from a book, right?
Yeah,
and I like
I love a physical book, Joe. I love a physical book.
When a new codex comes out, before when obviously everyone knows that we see the things, right? We see the things before the things, right? But we don't have a physical copy. And I hate reading off of a phone something new because I get bored or distracted. And I'm like, got to squint, and it's not great. But when the physical book comes in, I still have that childlike excitement.
So I love a physical book. I think if 40k ever got rid of codexes, it would actually be quite a sad day.
I think that would be a negative to the whole
I
thing.
think it would be a sad day. Although, and I don't ever want to lose physical books. I like having the books. I like collecting the books. I like getting the special edition books because I'm that kind of person. Having said that, Luton should come in lastminute.com with some comments. One of them saying, there's nothing wrong with rule books. The problem is making them obsolete with digital updates on day one. And that's the problem. And this is what I've said before, right? So the live service of having an app whereby when the rules do update on day one, you have the up-to-date rules on the app is fine. It's good. And I love the fact that it solves the problem of your codex being out of date because you've got a copy of the rules are up to date. But that means my physical book is still wrong. And if I go to my physical book and use it, it is still wrong. And the answer to that is simple. Do a better job before you release it.
Yeah.
That is the answer. Yeah. It just is.
Also, Legends, they have to put Legends on the app. I don't understand.
They do have to put Legends on the app.
Considering all the stuff that's Legends now was on the app before it became Legends.
Because the most exciting...
So the files are there. They exist.
Yeah. The most exciting part for me, one of the most exciting parts for me with the Space Wolves book was sitting there, flicking between pages and seeing which things work together. I love that. I love that in a book. I do. But I just want them to do it. And it sounds harsh to say this, and it sounds simple. And of course it sounds simple, but it's probably not as simple as I'm saying. But just do a better job in the first place. Just release something that isn't busted that you need to fix. And do better. And here's the big one as well for me. This is the real inexcusable. Do a better job proofreading. Because if
that's a time issue, isn't it?
If
That's
you
the
release
time
something,
management.
yeah, it is. If you release something that's too broken or too terrible, and on the tabletop it just doesn't quite fit, right? It doesn't quite fit. Then I can kind of excuse it.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't realize this interaction would happen this way. But to have typos is just you can't excuse that.
What's interesting, you'll notice that apart from a few bits in Death Guard, which was fucking turbo when it came out, Emperor's Children, Thousand Suns, Death Guard, World Eaters, Space Wolves haven't been FAQ updated.
They've been FAQ. They haven't been day one errated.
Yeah, but
which is good.
The Games Workshop hasn't touched them.
Yeah, it's good.
I think Games Workshop's gone, we're clearly upsetting people like Liam. Let's not do that.
Mectoplasm says AOS app has legend support. Why can't 40k? 100%.
So, but I think
100%.
I think now that the new asymmetric thing has come in, Games Workshop have said, "Oh, we do care about casual play. We do care about fun play." I'm hoping that the next step is to bring Legends into the app, so you can use it. And I think, I think there should be like an online petition. You know, not that petitions actually ever really work. I'm convinced they don't.
They don't do anything.
They don't do anything. There's always someone walking around. I'm trying to petition local council. To
Yeah,
put more dog
we
poo bins in. And I'm
petition
like,
government, and it goes into government, and they go, no, that's it, done.
No, we may work for you,
Yeah, but we don't actually.
but we don't.
We all actually really want just to get into government so we can maybe have a shot at being prime minister. So we can get paid 100 grand a year for the rest of our lives after fucking everything up.
Yeah.
That's all we really care about.
Yeah.
We're not really bothered about actually helping.
Like
you.
most of them are asleep.
Yeah,
That really
if
gets
even
me.
there, if they're even there, Joe.
So like,
Yeah,
so I think, I think Games Workshop needs to know that the people want Legends in. I just think that the 40k team is not in touch with its community as the AOS team is.
no, and I think that's part of what they're working on.
Because like the AOS team is at every AOS event.
Yeah, they are.
Like, they're at every AOS event that's held at Warhammer World and all the major events. There's always somebody there playing the game, talking to the people that play the game.
Yeah.
Whereas the 40k team have always been a bit aloof.
Boo Earns, thank you for the $10. Playing Wrath of Rock tonight. Thoughts? Azrael with 10 Hellblasters, the Lion, the Combi Lieutenant, a Judicar with Ancestors, with Ancient Weapons, with 6 Inner Circle Companions, 2 times Deathwing Knights, 2 times 5 Vanguard Veterans with Storm Shields, 2 times ATV. Well, that's strong. Intercessors. Am I hoping ATVs and Vanguard Vets are sturdy, cheap scoring? I am hoping.
So Vanguard Vets have had a points drop.
Yeah,
So
they're interesting.
The only thing that lets Vanguard Vets down is they're only AP1.
Are they?
They're only AP1. I think that they should be AP2.
Yeah.
I don't mind them being damage 1, but as veterans, like they are the jump pack equivalent of Blade Guard, they need to go to AP2. You know? Have the 4-up in run, be AP2, be 1 damage, that's fine. I don't think they need to go to AP. They don't need to go to AP2 damage 2 because you can take 10 of them and that becomes a very oppressive
They weirdly
unit.
got the heirloom weapons treatment, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then Thunderwolf Cav got the heirloom weapons treatment, and they've kind of gone back on that now, and Thunderwolf Cav are now 2 damage and 3 on the charge.
Yeah. But Vanguard are Deathwing keyword, which is cool.
Ooh, that's good. Okay.
So
it seems decent. I like
as
it.
a unit, it's really good. Especially the Dark Angels and Blood Angels have the best version. They just have an AP problem.
Yeah, I think 2 times 5 Vanguard now at cheap. If you think about it, though, cheap points, fast-moving unit, decent-ish melee weapons. They could be better. You are right.
Yeah.
Now -1 to wound because of the detachment. They're pretty rapid.
And the jump captain's cheaper now as well.
The ATVs will be interesting. You'll have to let us know how that goes because they're the ones I'm not sure about. But they are mounted.
They are
So
mounted,
you do get the
yeah.
-1 to wound as well, which is not bad. So probably with the big multi-melters, I assume. Decent. Love it. Good list. Tell us how it goes. I think Vanguard Vets and ATVs for cheap scoring is work. I'm assuming Intercessors are home objective. Azrael with 10 Hellblasters is very Dark Angels. The Lion is solid now. He's really fucking good. 2 units of 5 Deathwing Knights. Despite what Joe says, I think that's all you need. 15 is fine.
15 is
obnoxious.
More than enough.
It's obnoxious.
10
Joe.
is
15 means your opponent doesn't have fun.
15 mean the thing is though, it does like when you go from 10 to 15, your ability to score secondaries massively decreases.
When you go from 10 to 15, you put a chaplain in each one and just dump them onto the 3 objectives in no man's land and go, I win.
Yeah.
And everything else could be scoring secondaries.
That's why I'm playing Paddy.
The thing is, if you play 15, which is 750 points, and 3 chaplains, right, you've got 1,000 points left over for secondary scoring, Jay. And those 3 just sit on middle objectives and be like,
yeah,
ours.
but Dark Angels are lying.
I mean, that's a choice. Thank you, Tox Trio, for the. It's not saying it's a wrong choice, by the way, but it is a choice.
Because what I love about the Dark Angels that I've really been enjoying is it's the most hero hammer I've had.
It is very hero hammer. It's why I'm really liking Spaceballs.
Because it's like I like Blood Angels, but they've lost some. They've I really lost touch with them. But the fact that Astrath got cheaper.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And all the Death Company related things all went down.
Yeah,
which is great because Death Company dreadnoughts are looking pretty spicy now.
Yeah,
especially with the change to how Death Company get affected by characters. Astrath, I think, is an auto take for Blood Angels. If you're a Blood Angels player and you're not taking Astrath and 5 Death Company, I think you're doing something wrong.
I mean, I love Astrath's model, so it wouldn't bother me.
He's a beautiful model, and he is a fully fledged lunatic.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
His rules are just all good.
Yeah, they are solid. I mean, I remember when it came out, everyone was like, Lamarty's over Astrath, and I was like, Astrath, and now everyone's going, Astrath.
Lamarty's is on paper the best one because of the -1 damage, right? That's why he gives his unit lethal, which is the best version of them. But Astrath gives his unit dev wounds, which doesn't proc as often because you don't reroll wounds. But he himself is vastly superior.
Yeah,
because he's
which leads into hero hammer, which I love.
He's 5 wounds, 2 up save, 4 up invuln, 6 or 7 attacks at -3 damage, 2 dev wounds with precision.
Tox, thank you for the €5. This will be a big points investment, but a Wartsmith with a Psyker upgrade, and then Vashtor for +2 strength and +1 AP on nearby vehicles.
Yeah.
Love it. That makes things mental good for strength.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Thank you for the €5, man. Tense Tree, thank you for the $5. Do you think forcing people to purchase a physical book with lore and images adds to the immersion, which retains the player base? Yeah, yes and no. I think I've seen people that will go online and just buy the codes from people's books.
What I think it does is it stops army list writing from being like sterile, right?
Okay.
Because if it's only on the app, your only interaction with making your army list is essentially an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah,
it's just black and white writing number generator.
Yeah.
Right. And then if you want the unit rules, it's just on a PDF, like a Google. It's essentially a Google Doc, isn't it? Really, on your phone. By having to purchase a physical book with pictures, it immerses you in that army. Like,
which then would aid in retention.
I will fully admit that.
You're not.
With my brain capacity, it's just a book of pretty pictures to me. Sometimes I don't even read the fluff. I'm like, that's the first thing I'll always comment on is the artwork.
Yeah, he does.
I'm like, that's a beautiful picture. I really like the composition of like the Chaos Space Marine Codex. Oh,
gorgeous, wasn't it?
Stunning. The 9th edition one was the best one.
Yeah,
because there was a beautiful. It's almost like red and black biro drawing almost with how it was done. Stunning, right? And then you look at all the pictures of the units, you look at the different color schemes, and then you get the fresh rules, because it's the new codex, is in your hand, and you can look at it, and you can flip between pages to look at how units interact with other units. Whereas when you're on an app, you can't. It's harder to see the synergies because you have to like open it, close it.
It is hard
scroll,
to
open it.
That's a thing that they could generate some sort of incredible app experience by showing you the things that could. But anyway, I think part of the challenge of 40k list writing is finding those synergies yourself. I think if they gave you the synergies, then that would kind of take away from that. But yeah, Joe's right. I actually think that on the whole, for most people that collect the armies and buy the codexes, I think it does add to the immersion.
Yeah.
I think that does then in line it adds to the retention because people buy into the faction. Because a lot of people, I do read a lot of the fluff in the codexes. I don't necessarily retain the fluff itself, but when you're reading through it and you're starting that army or collecting that army for the first time, you can really get a buy-in. And I typically then end up finding that I'm like, I want to include this character, I want to include this unit, not necessarily because it's good, because I've read part of the narrative about that character or that unit or whatever. I'm like, oh, I fucking like that. I want to put that on my army list.
I think competitive players don't care about the books. They just want to win, and they just want competitive players.
Yeah, they
don't really use codexes. They use like YouTubers, the internet, to tell them what's the best army list or the best units in that list, and then they create the list on their phone. And then they just need the code to get the rules as reference.
The best competitive players don't use Google to tell, or the internet to tell them what's best. They figure it out themselves.
They figure it out themselves. But I think some of the best competitive 40k players still care about the hobby.
Yeah, Kai says, if you don't want sterile army list building, I don't know, try granular points. Just an original idea.
So if you watch Art of War, right?
I agree, Kai, by the way.
If you watch Art of War, when they're talking about the armies being the best, they still have a favourite army.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
They still have favourite models. And they're like, oh, I wish this guy's rules aren't very good. I wish he was in the army. They always talk about the things that they like and they love. There's just that like mid-table kind of wannabe section that are like, I just want to be competitive. I don't care about it. I just want to be. I just want to win. I think they're happy just to get the code. But I think there's a group of people at the top. And a large group of people below those people that just really fucking love the army.
I do feel like Art of War's most recent Space Wolf video, I felt personally attacked.
Why?
Because they described a Space Wolves player.
Yeah.
You should go and watch it. I felt personally attacked.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kazarian, for the 5. Liam, just stick with World Eaters. They never touch our rules. Even our FAQ this time is just confirming common sense interactions. The thing is, I still love World Eaters. I will forever love World Eaters. I love Berserkers the most. I love Khan. I like Angron. I'm not that bothered by 8-bound. I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're kind of meh to me. They're cool enough. Not like Joe, who despises them. If they'd have brought out Red Butchers Terminators, I'd have been happier. 8-bound models.
I just completely just shut down. Then.
So you know, I love World Eaters. With the new World Eaters Codex, though, Nick, and the new Space Wolves Codex, and the vibe of the whole of the World Eaters army and the vibe of the whole of the Space Wolves army, I have a new favourite.
Yeah, so the Thanes were talking about how the new Combat Patrol magazine is Chaos Terminators. I should go out and get some. And I was like, I can't. But, and they're like, well, how many would you want? And I'm like, I want 30 Terminators. And when I thought about it, it's like, I don't want 30 Terminators just for Chaos Space Marines because I'm quite well served in my Chaos Space Marines. I was like, I want 30 World Eater Terminators because I'm like, I wouldn't mind running World Eaters, but I don't want 8-bound. I want Berserkers and I want Terminators and I want Dreadnoughts.
And I'm the same.
Yeah.
But I don't want Chaos Terminators painted red. I don't want Hellbrutes painted red. I want World Eaters Terminators.
So I think the World Eaters Terminators, I'll probably try and do what I've done with the Emperor's Children and and some of the ones I did for the Black Legion, where I got the cataphracti shoulder pads and arms on them. So they look a bit more brute and a bit more aggressive. And then the Dreadnoughts, I'd use Contempt Dreadnoughts. Double fist.
I'm just going to play Space Wolves. Will, thank you for the last super chat for $10. I just feel sorry for Votan players. How long have they been waiting for more models? And the Wolves get fresh models with more range than their whole army. I do feel sorry for Votan players for that reason, but I'm also a Wolves fan.
Yeah, I think the problem that Votan have had is that two of their units have been kill teams.
Yeah.
So Games Workshop will see that as additional units for their army. So I reckon their codex, when it comes out, I think they get a character.
Yeah.
Maybe one unit, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. I don't see them getting a huge amount of units. I think you're right.
I think they get fuck all. I just hope that their army just gets a little bit more entertaining. I don't...
I feel sorry for Votan players, but I also feel sorry for Votan players because me personally, I'm an individual that was quite excited about a potential return of squats. And with what we've had with Votan, for me, you could take them straight back out of 40k and I wouldn't care.
I feel like
we wouldn't miss them.
Emperor's Children is the same thing that happened to Votan, but in reverse. So Votan came out broke as shit because of leaks, and then they had to get fixed, right? So it's just been a real bumpy ride for Votan, right? But their rules have always been really, really good. Emperor's Children, their rules came out a bit meh, and the entire community is a bit pissed off about that as well. So just 2 armies that have got released over the last 6 years, and everyone's just a bit like, I'm not enjoying this.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I feel sorry for them, Will. Thank you for the $10. I do feel sorry for them. I don't think that we can look at their update for that to solve that problem because I think Joe's right. I don't think it's going to solve that problem. I think they might get 1 or 2 units and that'll be it. And I wouldn't be surprised at this rate for Games Workshop to sort of offer them some sort of bullshit character. It'd probably look more Custodian than the Custody, who look more Votan. They'll do it that way around.
Ash is like, quick look at the AdMech. The AdMech detachment would be a waste of all of our time.
To start with.
However, the tech priest model in that, I do read. The models are beautiful.
To start with, Ash,
they're stunning.
We've been online for 2 hours and 40 minutes because Joe won't shut up. It was inevitable, to be fair, to go through 3 whole detachments, but also it's fucking AdMech. No one cares. Which is kind of true, right?
Yes and no. Like I have so basically, like I own enough stuff in my garage currently that if I didn't do any streams for the rest of the year, and we got no new models, I think I could probably work for all of it, right? Maybe just
a lot of it, at least. I
could get through a lot of it, but not all of it, right? And a lot of that is just updates for armies that currently. I've got fuckloads of Tyranids to do. I've got loads of Chaos to do. I've got some Votan stuff to do. Basically, I've got stuff for every army to add to it, plus terrain, and AdMech's part of that. So I care about AdMech, but I don't want to play the AdMech that we currently have.
I think most people,
I've got stuff at home that I'm going to add to.
I think most people, like you have AdMech fans who are real fucking AdMech fans, but the only time you ever see a real good representation of AdMech at the tabletop in tournaments, for example, it's one of those armies that people only really play for the most part when they're really fucking good.
Yeah, people only play AdMech when they're broke as shit. Obviously, War Master Will really tried, bless him. At the start of the year, I saw him at Beachhead. I saw him at a couple employment events, and he was giving the old college try.
Yeah, but I don't think it's working.
But it wasn't working.
I think also I feel more sorry for AdMech players than Votan players, and part of that's because what Max Plasma just said. Can we point out that AdMech datasheet, codex, army rules are nothing like their book they bought. The book is just a digital code. Like that is one of what we talked about earlier. That is one of those case in points where Luke was bringing up codex as being out of date on day one. The AdMech book was fucking embarrassing. That should have been an embarrassing moment in there. And
I feel like that. I feel like if you could prove that you bought it, Games Workshop should refund you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Yeah, I feel like that codex was a full fail. But the thing is, though, like I do have the stuff to update the AdMech, and I will bring AdMech to the table.
Yeah. Okay.
At time.
Well, you people are amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out for what has been 2 hours and nearly 45 minutes for the Liam and Joe show as we've gone through all 3 of the new detachments released on Warcom yesterday, as well as the new Ravener datasheet, which looks pretty fucking tasty. Who knew the best way to sell Kill Team models was by making their 40k rules really fucking good?
I'm telling you, right? Kill Team is designed to make vast amounts of money for 40k.
Kill Team is an excuse to charge cheaper units at a higher price because they come with cards that no one uses because they're only buying them for 40k.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
And they're well good, mate.
Yeah.
Apart from AdMech.
Yeah. So hopefully you've enjoyed the show. If you have, please make sure you smash that like button before you disappear. There is 314 people watching right now and 160 likes on the stream. I appreciate you 160. The rest of you, that button's free. Press it right now for me. If you haven't already, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. We do have another show on the channel today. Of course, it's Thursday. So we're back at 7:30 tonight. Paddy returns with Tau using the updated Balanced data slate rules from yesterday, the simplified, better, stronger version, no matter how much he complains about
Yeah,
it.
he U-turned out Blood Angels well quickly, didn't he?
Yeah, and Joe is going to be bringing the Dark Angels
Yeah.
with the new detachment that we talked about today. So look forward to that tonight. Dark Angels versus Tau, live on the channel, all new rules for both factions. That's at 7:30. I'll be producing for you wonderful people. And then tomorrow I'll be back at 9 o'clock for After Dark, where I'll drink more mead, slur a load of words, and probably say something wildly inappropriate that might get me cancelled.
Next week will be new Chaos Space Marines, new Tyranids.
Yeah.
I need to get a Trigon painted.
You do.
Yeah.
So that's everything. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it, like I say. Thank you so much for watching, you beautiful human beings. Thank you for all the super chats, and thank you for all the gifted memberships. Mostly thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, one more time.